Golden Radio Hour.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Yes?
Hi, Marilyn.
Oh, hi, Val.
Guess what?
What?
I got a catalog this morning.
That's nice.
I'll hold it up so you can see. Didn't you hear me? I said I got
What's so special about a catalog? You get a lot of them, don't you?
Yes, but this one is from the Bureau.
Oh.
Well, isn't that simply the greatest?
I suppose so.
You suppose? Wait till you see it. It's beautiful.
I know.
You think you do, but you can't. Not until you've seen it for yourself.
I got one, too.
You did? Why didn't you call me?
I was going to. Honest.
Isn't it wonderful? Oh, I can hardly wait. How long does it take, do you think?
I don't know. A few days.
But the transformation prom's next week.
They have to give us time to decide.
I don't need time. I've already made up my mind.
You have?
Number 12. They're so beautiful with perfect blonde hair and those little noses that turn up at the end.
My mother's a number 12.
I know, and she looks so fabulous. Don't you think she looks fabulous? My mother's a number 14, but I always thought your mother looks so much better. Who wants to be a brunette? Nobody has dark hair nowadays. There's this one girl at school, that senior Jennifer. Well, she picked number 14. What a mistake. Nobody liked it. She tried to dye her hair last week and it came out all red and springy looking. Now she wears extra makeup. She thinks we won't notice. But her hair doesn't go with anything else.
I have red hair.
Oh, I know.
Do you think there's something wrong with red hair?
No, honest. It's great, really. But when you think about what you'll look like after the transformation, isn't it dreamy? Maybe I'll pick number 15. They have such nice long legs. Of course, number 11 does too, just like a dancer. Not as slim as number 12, but...
I gotta go.
To look at your catalog, I bet. Hold it up to the phone so I can see.
It's not here.
Well, where is it? You didn't lose it, did you? Better check, because if you did...
My mother's got it.
Oh, good. I mean, I want to ask her a question. Do you think she's happy being a number 12? If she could give me her opinion before...
Yeah, I'll tell her. Bye, Val.
Portrait of an American girl caught in that transition known as the terrible teens. The place? A world very much like our own, with all the modern conveniences that make life healthy, happy, and safe. The time? Only a few years from now, when the passage into adulthood has been rendered as pleasant and painless as possible. The answer is technology, and the guarantee that beauty is available not only to the lucky few, but to all, equally and without prejudice. Call it the American dream. For what young girl would not want to be beautiful? Given the chance, what girl will not happily exchange a plain face for a pretty one, an overweight body for a slender one, a lonely adolescence for popularity? It's a dream that might happen tomorrow. But as we're about to see, it's already happening in the Twilight Zone.
And now, The Twilight Zone and our story, Number 12 Looks Just Like You, starring Bonnie Somerville and Charles Shaughnessy, with Stacy Keach as your narrator.
What are you doing, honey?
I'm looking at the scrapbook.
My old scrapbook? Oh, dear. How embarrassing.
I think it's nice.
You should be looking at your new catalog. Here, I brought it back.
That's all right.
They all look so pretty, don't they? I can't decide. The 17 reminds me of your father. His features, I mean. But I think the 12 might suit you better.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
I don't know.
I thought we should look at it together, all right?
If you say so.
Of course, you can't see the details clearly. The holograms are so small. Just the basic faces and figures and how they look wearing different outfits. But you get the idea. What's the matter?
Nothing.
Are you listening to me?
I'm sorry, Mothers. Some of the pictures in this old album...
Sometimes I don't understand you, darling.
What do you mean?
Most girls your age are thrilled to death when it's time to choose a pattern. Have you even looked at the catalog?
Yes.
I remember how excited I was before I made my choice. I couldn't sleep for 3 nights. The patterns were all so lovely, I couldn't make up my mind. My mother had to help me decide. I finally chose number 12. I guess that's everyone's favorite.
Is it?
Aren't you excited?
Mm-hmm.
What is it in that old album that's so fascinating?
The way you were. Before.
Oh, you can't be serious.
This page, for instance.
Not that one.
It is you, isn't it? See? It says Lana Donnelly.
Oh, I can't believe how plain I was. No wonder I didn't have any friends as a child. The sandy hair, all those freckles.
Like mine?
Well, that's what you inherited. But when I see that thick waist in the picture, those ugly, shapeless legs, I absolutely want to cringe. I wish your father hadn't given you this book. Hard to believe, I know, but I'm afraid the awful truth is it's me, before my transformation.
I knew it.
I was such a sight.
I wouldn't say that. I think you were beautiful. I really do.
Well, I certainly don't. I was unbearably homely. It was always hard on me at school until, well, thank goodness for the transformation. It's the most marvelous thing that could happen to a person, and it didn't come a moment too soon.
Am I very homely now?
Of course you aren't. Not to me. But afterwards, oh, think of it. You'll be beautiful.
Mother.
Yes, dear.
May I ask you a question?
Anything at all.
Suppose I didn't want it.
What?
I wouldn't have to, would I?
Darling, what are you talking about?
At least I could wait a little while, couldn't I? Would that be all right?
Oh, I don't think so. It has to be done at just the right time, a certain stage in your growth. Later, it's much harder. That's why the Bureau notified you. The time is now.
But what if I'm not ready?
You're just nervous, darling. There's nothing to worry about. Nothing at all. Say, I know what you need.
You do?
A glass of instant smile. I'll ring for Grace.
I don't need anything.
I think you do, if you could see yourself. But all of that will change. Just think. Turn it over in your mind and savor it. Very soon now, very, very soon, you can look like this. Or this.
Who's that one?
She's exactly your age. Isn't she beautiful? Her name is, let me see, Melanie Moore. There's no reason why this couldn't be you. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
You rang, Mrs. Q-Barrel?
Lana.
Pardon me, Lana.
A cup of instant smile for my daughter, Grace.
Yes, ma'am.
On second thought, make it 2. I could use a little pick-me-up myself.
Right away.
Teaching the help to use first names can be a problem these days. But we're all equal, aren't we?
Yes, Mother.
Remember that. After all, Grace is a number 12, too. Even if she is our maid.
Oh, Mother.
Why so glum, darling?
I'm tired. I think I'll go to my room and lie down.
That's a good idea. You're not yourself today.
Oh? Who am I?
You act as though there's something wrong with the transformation. I don't understand what possible objection anyone could have to being beautiful. After all, isn't everybody? Someone's at the front door, Grace.
Yes, Lana. Be right there.
Never mind, I'll get it.
Hello, Lana.
Oh, Rick. Thanks for coming by.
How's Marilyn?
The same.
I almost couldn't believe what you said on the vid phone.
I couldn't believe it myself. But it's true. She doesn't want the transformation. Can you imagine?
Let me talk to her.
I wish you would.
Where is she now?
In her room. I'll let her know you're here.
Yes.
Marilyn, are you awake?
Why?
Uncle Rick is here.
He is? Be right there.
That girl. You were her father's brother, Rick. What did he tell her?
How do you mean?
What could he possibly have said to give her these crazy ideas?
It's an interesting question. Don't jump to conclusions. He was a good man.
I know that.
A little strange, perhaps, but a good man. I'll have a word with her. Might not have been his fault, you know.
Then whose?
Hard to say. They pick up so many peculiar notions from the Trivid and at school.
Here she is now. Don't let on that I called you.
I won't.
Honey, look who stopped by to see you.
Hi, sweetheart.
Uncle Rick!
Oh, forget that uncle stuff, will you? You want me to start feeling old?
Oh, you're not old. Can you stay?
For a few minutes, I guess. I was just passing by and
You two will excuse me.
What's the matter, Mom?
Nothing. I'm late for my culture class.
Still taking that night course, huh?
Well, I can't miss a chance to improve myself, can I? Make yourself comfortable, Rick. If you need anything, Grace is in the other room.
Sure. Nice to see you, Lana.
Nice to see you. Come back soon, will you? We'll all have dinner together.
Sounds great. Bye now. Now then, what's all this about?
What's what about?
Well, I gather your mother is worried.
Oh.
Don't say it like that. She cares very much about you.
Because I don't want to be transformed?
Something like that.
Because I want to stay ugly.
Stop it. You're many things, honey. Most of them delightful, but you're definitely not ugly. You're just...
Just what? Not beautiful?
Some people might say so.
What would you say?
You're different looking.
Different good or different bad?
Doesn't matter. The point is, people choose transformation when the opportunity comes along.
I guess I'm not like other people.
Your father chose it.
I know. He was a number 17 just like you.
Well, yes. 17 is the favorite for men these days. Has been for the past 20 years. My brother was a perfectionist. Wouldn't settle for anything less.
Uncle Rick.
Yes?
Haven't you ever wanted to look like you?
I do look like me.
But you also look like a lot of other people.
And all considered rather handsome, or so I'm told. Is that bad?
Is it good to be like everybody? Isn't that the same as being nobody?
I think it's time you tell me.
Tell you what?
Where you've been getting these radical ideas.
My father used to say...
Your father was a handsome man, wasn't he?
Yes, but he read books. He thought about things. Sometimes we talk, just the two of us.
Everybody talks.
I mean about real things, not just electronic baseball or the super soccer team or where to buy a dress or fix your hair.
Is there something wrong with sports, Marilyn, or buying new dresses? Think of all the businesses that would close down if nobody thought about them.
But if you make that all there is in life...
Sorry, sweetie, I have to be going. For now, I'd say you're out of sorts. It's not unusual at your age. You better have a glass of Instant Smile. Ask Grace to bring one in.
I've had a glass of Instant Smile. I've had glass after glass after glass. And you know something? It doesn't do any good.
Take it easy.
I don't feel like smiling. I feel like frowning. In fact, I want to cry. I'm unhappy and I don't know why. Do you understand? I'm just not happy.
I'll tell you what you are. I don't know how it happened, but I'd say you're a very sick young lady.
Why? Because I don't want to be like everyone else?
I'll tell your mother to make an appointment with the doctor tomorrow. Till then, take care of yourself, sweetie. And try not to worry. We'll all be better very soon. You'll see.
What's wrong with me? Somebody please tell me. What's wrong with me?
So glad you could come.
Thanks, Mrs. Cubero.
Lana, please.
Oh, sure. Lana.
We haven't seen much of you lately.
I know.
Marilyn, look who dropped by.
Who?
Hi, Marilyn.
Val?
Yes, it's me.
Oh, I didn't recognize you.
Doesn't she look fabulous?
I feel fabulous. Number 12 has always been my favorite, ever since I was a little girl.
Well, it was worth the wait, wasn't it?
You bet.
Are you two going out tonight?
I don't think so, but if Marilyn wants to.
I can't. I have to do my online homework.
Just a visit, then. I'll leave you alone. I know you have a lot to talk about. Remember, Val, you're always welcome here.
Thanks, Lana.
If you need anything...
We're fine, Mother.
Don't be such a stranger, Val.
I promise. See you soon.
She told you, didn't she?
Well, yes.
And that's why you're here.
Really, Marilyn, don't you think you're being silly about the whole thing?
I think it's my own business.
Well, of course it is. But I don't understand. Nobody does.
I just don't see why I have to make up my mind right now. There's no law, is there?
But everyone has it done.
Fine. They're not me.
It doesn't hurt or anything if that's what you're worried about. When they did mine, I didn't feel a thing.
I'm sure it didn't.
Well, what then? You like the way I look, don't you?
Sure. You look just like my mother now. Oh, excuse me. Like Lana.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing, Val. But I like you.
Of course you do.
We're friends. We'd be friends even if you didn't have the transformation. Don't you know that?
That's not the important thing.
What is important, Val?
It's like getting a new dress or a new hairstyle. You just look better. You want to look as nice as you can, don't you?
If I do it, I'll look like one of those holograms in the catalog.
That's right, you will. And they're all beautiful, aren't they? What's wrong with that?
I don't know. But somehow I have this feeling that it's wrong.
Why?
How will you know me afterwards? How will anyone know me?
That doesn't make sense. You know what I think, Marilyn? I think you're just plain weird. If everybody says it's all right, if the whole world thinks it is, then how can you say something different? I don't get it.
You're the one who doesn't get it. I don't want to look like someone else. Val, I want to look like me. I won't let them change me into something else. I won't let them. Help me, please, Val. I don't have anyone else who'll listen. Please help me.
Marilyn?
Mother?
No, I'm Miss Simmons.
Oh, you must be a number 12, too.
Why, thank you, dear. As a matter of fact, I am. Doctor will see you now.
Where's my mother?
She's already in the office. Would you like to come with me?
All right.
Dr. Hortel?
Yes, nurse.
Miss Cuberl is here.
Thank you, Eva.
Hello, Marilyn, darling. The doctor and I were just having a talk.
Please call me Rex.
All right, Rex.
Would you care for a beverage, Marilyn?
No, thank you.
That'll be all for now.
Very well. Call me if you need anything.
Yes, I will.
Have a seat by me. The couch is very comfortable.
What's this for?
Oh, just a simple interview. Your mother, Lana, wanted us to get acquainted.
Why?
Rex will answer any questions you have.
I'll do my level best.
And I appreciate it. We both do. I'm sorry to have bothered you. It's such a small thing, really.
No, not at all. That's my job.
Marilyn, please, sit.
Now then, you're 18?
Yes.
Well, it must be about time to... Ah, yes, I see that you've already received your notice. Went out last week.
That's why we're here.
No, you mustn't worry.
I try not to.
Marilyn's like so many young people nowadays.
She is?
Mm-hmm. And it's our fault.
How so?
Well, because we haven't made things clear to her. It's a matter of communication. But when you deal with a bureaucracy, well, there's bound to be an information lag.
I read everything from the Bureau.
But it didn't give you any definite explanation of why you've had to wait this long. I'm sure it's been difficult. Marilyn looks at you, Lana, at the women all around her in pictures on the Trivid, and then she looks into a mirror. It has a negative effect on her self-image, not to mention her spirit.
There's nothing wrong with my spirit.
Marilyn, please.
Well, from pure perfection of body, face, limbs, pigmentation, carriage, stance, she sees herself and is horrified. Isn't that so?
Well,
Well, of course it is. The child asks herself, why must I be so hideous, off balance, oversized, awkward, when everyone around me is so perfect? In short, she's tired of being a monster. She's come close to giving up.
Dr. Rex, that's all well and good, but you don't understand.
He doesn't.
I beg your pardon?
She isn't just depressed or anxious, she's...
Well, go on, say it. You're my patient now. Everything is in strictest confidence.
Well, she's... I don't know quite how to put this.
I made up my mind.
You have?
I don't want to have the transformation.
You what?
I don't understand it either. She never said anything before, and now, suddenly...
Is this true?
Yes.
Oh, perhaps you'd like to talk about it.
Not particularly.
She won't give any reasons. She just...
Suppose you tell me, Marilyn. In your own words.
There's nothing to tell. I just don't want to change.
You do understand that transformation is a normal part of growing up. It has been for years now. In a way, it's a milestone. A sign of maturity. It means you're ready to take your place in the adult world.
How? By being like everybody else?
Well, I wouldn't say that. No, there are a great many styles in the catalogue. You're absolutely free to choose any one you like. There's no pressure on you at all. No coercion.
Isn't there?
No, that would be against regulations.
But I have to choose one, even if I don't want to. That's the way it's set up. If I don't, well, I don't even know what would happen to me.
You make it sound like you're being forced. No, that would be contrary to free will. And if there's one thing this country guarantees...
But what would happen if I don't? If I stay the way I want to be? Why do people care so much? I thought this was supposed to be a democracy where we respect everybody.
Marilyn.
Even if they want to be different. Even if they want to live their lives the way they...
You mustn't talk like that.
Why not?
You've been given every advantage, every privilege. We're talking about a chance to develop your full potential.
Would you mind if I conduct a test?
What kind of test?
A personality profile. For my records.
I don't see why not. Do you, Marilyn?
Come over here, please.
What's that machine?
Oh, it simply scans your mental activity, then prints it out on a strip of paper. The whole process takes a few seconds. It's quite painless, I assure you. All you need to do is sit in this chair.
It's all right, darling. I promise.
What are you putting on my head?
A cranial recorder. I'm sure you've had this done before.
You did. When you first started school, remember?
All right, close your eyes, please, and sit quietly. Now, you must understand, the transformation is desirable not only from an aesthetic point of view. It plays an important role in one's psychological adjustment. According to scientific research, it's absolutely vital. There. That's all there is to it.
What does it say?
Lana, was there anything specific that triggered your daughter's feelings? An emotional incident of some sort?
Nothing that I'm aware of. She's never shown much interest in her appearance, but I honestly can't imagine anything
Your
that
husband died in the Ganymede incident, I see.
5 years ago.
Did you ever discuss this matter with him?
Yes. I recall that he had some misgivings at first, but he finally chose number 17. Your number.
Huh, I see.
You remind me so much of him. Your eyes and the way you walk.
Well, that's hardly surprising. It's an outstanding design.
He's not Daddy, Mother, or Uncle Rick.
Now, you can go back to the couch now, Marilyn. We're all finished. Just lift the helmet off. You were very fond of your father, I take it.
Yes.
And you respected his opinions, didn't you?
He was very, very intelligent.
Oh, I'm sure he was. Did he ever tell you that the transformation was bad?
Not exactly.
I'm sure he didn't.
What did he tell you?
He said he thought it was tragic.
Jack had some ideas that were rather nonconformist, Doctor. But it was just talk. He had the highest physical and psychological rating with the rocket service.
Well, this is a very unusual case. I'll require some additional time to look into the matter. Suppose I get in touch with you, say, in a few days.
That will be fine. I appreciate your seeing us.
Did you find out?
What's that?
The machine. Did you find out what's inside my head?
Oh, your general intelligence rating is quite high. Social adaptation, good. Powers of reasoning appear normal. Oh, above normal, in fact.
Then why won't you let me make up my own mind?
Honey, please.
Why can't I? Why should I be forced to do something I don't want to do? You can't make me, can you?
Oh, no one has ever been forced to take the transformation. No, the problem is to discover why you don't want it. Then, once we understand that, well, we'll make whatever corrections are necessary. You're something of a challenge, young lady. Don't you worry. I'm sure we'll be able to handle it. Whatever it takes.
Dr. Forrest, dial 118, please.
Where are we going?
This way, please. It's just at the end of the hall.
What part of the hospital is this?
They have the private offices down here.
I thought Dr. Hortel was going to meet me.
You mean Dr. Rex? He'll be along later. Miss Marilyn Cubero.
Come in, Marilyn. Sit down.
It's too dark. I can't see anything.
Walk toward the desk.
Wait.
See the chair?
Yes, but I can't see you.
Sorry, the lamp must be right in your eyes. Let me adjust it.
Who are you?
I am Professor Friend, Sigmund Friend. You must call me Sig. Dr. Rex has told me about you. I'm here to help. Sit, please.
Help me?
Help rid you of your fears of this necessary and important...
No, that isn't true. It's not necessary.
This very necessary, very important step in your life.
But why? Why does everyone want to force me to do something I don't want to do?
Why else but for your own good?
That doesn't make sense.
Why else would the state go to so much trouble and expense? Many, many years ago, wiser men than I decided to eliminate injustice and inequality from this world. They saw in physical unattractiveness one of the factors that make men hate. And so they charged the finest scientific minds with the task of eliminating, or at least minimizing, ugliness everywhere.
But I'm not ugly. I'm not pretty, but I'm not ugly either.
To others, you may be.
Not to those who love me.
There's more to it than that. As we learn to reshape the features, remold the body, we also learn to eliminate most causes of illness, and thereby prolong life. Before the transformation, you might have expected to live 70, 80, perhaps 90 years. Now you may live twice that long, even 3 times. These are good things, don't you agree? Genuine advances for humankind.
Yes?
Your mother. She's lovely, is she not? At one time, her face and body would already have begun to show the marks of age, of decay. You would not deny her youth and beauty, would you?
But you could do that part without changing me, couldn't you? I wouldn't mind just that.
Someday you might. And then it would be too late for the transformation.
No, I'll never change my mind. I've thought about it, and I'm positive.
Why?
Did you ever read Shakespeare? Or Shelley? Or Keats?
Those books were banned many years ago. Where did you find them?
My father gave them to me. And dozens more. Aristotle, Socrates, Dostoevsky. Did you know Dostoevsky was an epileptic? Ugly, deformed, but he wrote about beauty. Real beauty.
Marilyn, I warn you. This sort of subversive talk...
Those men wrote about life, about the dignity of the human spirit, about love.
I've heard enough. Interjecting smut into this interview is not going to help your case, not at all.
Then may I go now?
I've arranged a room for you. You'll be quite comfortable.
But I don't want to stay here. I want to go home.
It's only temporary. Your mother will be informed, and you'll be allowed visitors.
Mother, did you hear what he said? They want
I'm not your mother, dear, but I am a number 12. This way.
No, you can't make me stay here.
I'm afraid you must let me decide what is best for you.
This way.
No, please.
We're not going to hurt you. We're going to help you.
Let me go! Let me go!
We're almost there. Just ahead. Third room on the left.
And you're sure she's all right?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm so glad. Did you know, Doctor, we've been best friends since preschool?
Well, she's lucky to have a friend like you. And a mother who cares so much. Like you, Lana.
I hope she's awake.
Marilyn,
Dr. Rex?
you have company.
Oh, Mother.
She was quite upset last night. I gave her something to help her sleep.
Hello, darling.
You haven't done anything to her yet.
Oh, a mild sedative, nothing more. If you'll excuse me, I have to look in on another patient.
Of course, Doctor. Thank you.
Hi, Marilyn.
Hello, Val.
Are you okay?
I think so.
We'd have been here sooner, only the doctor said you were sleeping. How do you feel?
I don't know.
What happened?
Nothing. They just wouldn't let me go. Oh, Mother, they're gonna do it anyway. They're gonna make me do it.
That's not true, Marilyn. Dr. Rex promised, remember?
He was lying.
Lying? Why should he?
I don't know, but I know he has to say that to keep people from finding out.
Finding out what?
That they do the transformation whether you want it or not.
Don't try to sit up.
Didn't you hear what I said?
I can't see why you're so unhappy, when all they want to do is make you pretty.
But they don't.
What?
Last night before I went to sleep, I remembered something. I remembered what Father told me. He said, when everyone is beautiful, then no one will be. Because without ugliness, there is no beauty. Oh, Mother, don't you see? They don't care whether you're beautiful. They want everyone to be the same. That's all.
They? Who are you talking about?
I'm afraid it's time to go now.
Already?
If it's all right, I'd like to stay and talk to Marilyn some more.
Well, just for a few minutes.
Don't worry, dear. Everything's going to be fine. You'll see.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I was thinking about what you said, what your father said. I don't see why he's so important to you.
Val!
I mean, he's dead, isn't he? Besides, you must have had other fathers. My mother's been married 11 times. Personally, I always like the stepfathers better anyway.
Please, Val.
You've had 9 fathers since the first one. Well, haven't you? Everybody marries everybody these days.
Val, stop.
After all, how can anybody live with the same husband for 100 years? Besides, from what I hear, your first father wasn't much fun.
Stop talking about my father. You didn't know him. I loved him. He was good, kind, and he cared about me. Not the way I looked, but what I thought, what I felt. And he cared about himself, his dignity as a human being. My father wasn't killed in the Ganymede incident, Val. He killed himself.
Why?
Because when they took away his identity, who he was, there was no reason left to live.
I don't understand.
And I don't understand you, Val. Look at me. Do you ever feel anything?
Sure. I feel good. I always feel good. Like that poem we learned in school. Life is pretty, life is fun. I am all and all is one.
You don't get it.
Get what? What are you talking about?
You really don't. You can't. You can't understand anything.
I gotta go, Marilyn. Goodbye.
I have to get out of here.
Dr. Kravitz, you have a visitor in the main lobby. Dr. Kravitz, a visitor in the main lobby.
You're number 14, aren't you?
Yes. Do you like 14s?
I do now. Have you had lunch yet? I was just on my way to the 22nd floor.
That's amazing. So was I.
Working a long shift today?
Till 7. Then I'm free.
That's great. Say, have you seen the Holo Lounge yet? If you like, I was thinking we could...
Which is the way out? I can't remember. Must be those 2 doors at the end. Mother?
What's that?
Is that my mother on the gurney?
Is your mother pregnant?
No.
Then your mother must be at number 12. Are you all right?
Yes, I'm fine.
What are you doing in your hospital gown?
I was just looking for the nurse.
You better stay in your room. Push the button by the bed. The nurse will be along.
Okay, I'll do that. Thank you. The double doors. This has to be the way. Hello? What is this place? Somebody?
Hello, my dear.
We've been expecting you.
Dr. Rex? Where am I? What?
This is an operating room.
No!
No need to run. Sooner or later, everyone decides to be beautiful.
What number have you chosen?
No, please, please!
Ah, Mrs. Cubero. Val, just in time.
Is it all over, Doctor?
All over.
Is she okay?
She's fine. You'll see for yourself.
I've been so worried the last few days. She seemed in such a state.
It's as I told you. Occasionally, a young person has difficulty adjusting to the idea. It always works out fine in the end. It never fails. A complete self-contained procedure.
Mother! Val!
You see? What did I tell you?
Look at me, Mother. Look at me.
Marilyn?
Well, what do you think?
You're beautiful. Simply beautiful.
Wow, I love your long legs.
And the nicest part of all, Val, now I look just like you and Mother.
Turn around so I can see you.
Do you like my makeup? They even gave me some high heels. Of course, I'll need a new dress to go with my new look.
Yes, yes you will. Come along, Marilyn. We'll do some shopping on the way home. Then we'll have a party, and all your friends can come over. You're going to have so many new friends from now on.
I know. Isn't it exciting?
Portrait of a young lady in love for the first time with herself. Improbable? Perhaps. But in an age of plastic surgery, bodybuilding, an infinity of cosmetics, and an obsession with appearance, let us hesitate to say impossible. These and other blessings, some of them decidedly mixed, may await us in the not-too-distant future, or at least a future to be found in the Twilight Zone.
Hi, this is Carl Amari, producer of the Twilight Zone radio dramas. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our official website at twilightzoneradio.com, where you'll get the latest news and information on these Twilight Zone radio dramas. Plus, at twilightzoneradio.com, you can digitally download 3 free episodes or any of our episodes for only $1.95 each. In this age of ever-changing technology, we've decided to make these episodes instantly available to you by making the Twilight Zone radio dramas a digital download-only series. This means that this series will no longer be offered on CD. The CD collections at our website are now being offered while supplies last at buy one, get one free. So be sure to get your favorites before they're sold out. Be sure to visit us often, and I'll see you in the zone.
Number 12 Looks Just Like You, starring Bonnie Somerville and Charles Shaughnessy, with Stacy Keach as your narrator, was adapted for radio by Dennis Etchison and written for The Twilight Zone by John Tomerlin from a story by Charles Beaumont. Heard in the cast were Mike Starr, Linda Reiter, Rebecca Spence, David Darlow, Nick Sandys, Nina LaSalle's, Tom McElroy, Rick Arthur, Joby Cerny, Fernette Lebo, and Terry Lopez. This copyrighted radio series is produced and directed by Carl Amari for Falcon Picture Group. Sound design and custom Foley effects for The Twilight Zone by Cerny American creatives Bob Benson, Craig Lee, Michael Slaybach, and Matt Sorrell. To learn more about the Twilight Zone radio dramas and to contact us, visit our official website at twilightzoneradio.com. Doug James speaking.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Yes, and will that be all then? No. What time is it?
I thought you made an appointment.
I did. Oh, come on, honey. You're not in that much of a hurry, are you?
Yes.
What about mad cow disease?
Well, clear the room then. Tell them they're keeping the head of McClellan Enterprises waiting. Tell them that we...
All right.
You want to forget the whole thing?
No, I don't want to forget the whole thing. I just want to get this nonsense over with.
Send you a postcard.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Bon voyage.
Ta-ta.
Yes, ta-ta.
Come on.
Hello. May I help you?
Mr. Spirito?
I am he.
We're the Ransoms. My wife called for an appointment.
Oh, yes. Please be seated. Now, where exactly do we intend to go?
We intend to go to London.
Splendid. Of course, you've been.
Oh, no.
Charming place. You have picked a rather bad time of year, though, but...
Excuse me, we're kind of rushed today. I wondered if you'd...
Certainly. Now, have we decided on an airline?
No.
Well then, if I may suggest...
We're not going by plane.
I beg your pardon?
I said, we're not going by plane?
Ooh, but you must, unless you're planning this for some time in the future.
No, it has to be right away.
Oh, then I'm afraid a ship would be out of the question. You see, it's the off-season, and the liners have all been booked up, or put on short runs.
All of them?
All the acceptable ones, yes. I hope you won't mind my saying this, Mrs. Ransom, but, you know, airplanes are perfectly safe nowadays. I realize that some people feel a certain trepidation, but there's absolutely no reason...
Eileen, if it's the only way...
May we see a list of boats that are running?
If you wish.
You promised.
I know.
It's important, Alan. We agreed on that.
I'm afraid these are the only passenger-carrying vessels bound for England in the next 30 days. Some are freighters, but it's sometimes possible...
What about this one?
The Lady Anne? I don't think so.
Why not?
Well, it's very nearly the oldest ship in the water, and the slowest. 13 days to Le Havre. Another half day to Southampton.
Forget it.
No. Wait. This says it leaves on Thursday. We'll take it.
Please, Mrs. Ransom, the Lady Anne is a veritable antique.
Listen to the man, Eileen. We can relax when we get there if that's what you want. Don't make such a big deal out of it.
It is a big deal to me, Alan. A very big deal. Give us 2 tickets.
For this relic?
Yes, that's right. The Lady Anne.
Oh, very well.
A few extra days won't matter, will they?
I don't have anything better to do. Check okay?
Of course, sir. But, Mrs. Ransom, the Caravan Travel Agency takes pride in its service. I beg you not to do this.
Well, it isn't going to sink, is it?
With a ship that old, you can't tell what might happen.
Oh, give me that check. Here. We'll pick up the tickets. Come on, Alan. You can go back to work now. Thanks for your help, Mr. Spirito.
Very well. Bon voyage.
Portrait of a honeymoon couple about to embark on a journey. Like most newlyweds, they've never traveled a great distance together, nor have they become truly acquainted. But there is a difference. These newlyweds have been married for 6 years, and they're taking this honeymoon not to start their life together, but to save it. Or so Mrs. Ransom believes. She's not sure why she insisted on an ocean liner, except that it will give them some much-needed time together, even if it is the Lady Anne. The tickets read New York to Southampton, but this old ship is bound for a very different port. Its final destination? The Twilight Zone.
And now, The Twilight Zone and our story, Passage on the Lady Anne, starring Martin Jarvis and Rosalind Ayres with Stacy Keach as your narrator.
Perfect. A foggy night. Can't even see the ship. Where is everybody?
Already on board. We're a few minutes late.
I was ready. If you hadn't taken so long packing...
There it is! Oh, Alan, isn't it beautiful?
No, not it. She. The ship happens to be a lady.
Sorry. She's beautiful.
Indeed she is. Oh, yes.
There's the gangplank, is that what they call it? Come on, Alan.
I can hardly wait.
You know, from the descriptions, we were expecting a cross between a kayak and the Flying Dutchman.
You're seeing someone off?
No, we're passengers.
What? How's that?
Passengers.
Oh, no. No. I hardly think so. No, you see, this is the Lady Anne.
Toby, please. You have no right to badger them.
Yeah, be quiet, woman.
Well...
Now, young fellow. Look here, if you'll consult your tickets, I think you'll find there's been a mistake. I repeat, this ship is the Lady Anne.
And I repeat, there's no mistake.
Show me your tickets.
Why should I do that?
Call it curiosity. Do you mind?
Go ahead, Alan.
All right.
Let's see. Mr. and Mrs. Alan Ransom, New York to Southampton.
You're not going to read the fine print, too, are you?
Well, they seem to be in order.
Thank you. It's good to know that.
Well, there must be an error. This is a private passage, you might say. A mistake in booking. No, it's a terrible mistake.
Come along, dear.
But, Millie, I don't understand. I really don't.
I said come along, dear.
Well, I guess that's how the British say welcome aboard.
Oh, don't get your back up. You'll be twice as cranky when you're his age.
Bet we can beat him up the ramp.
Not too late to turn back, you know? I mean, think of being cooped up with me for 14 days.
I made a promise and I'm going to keep it. Isn't that good enough?
Sure.
Not very steady. Really gives you confidence, doesn't it?
At least try to enjoy this.
One moment, please. Your names?
Ransom?
Yes, I see it on the list.
Do you want to see our tickets, too?
Everything seems to be in order, sir. Stateroom 24 down that flight of stairs.
Thank you.
Oh, here we are.
Yes, here we are.
Good evening.
I say, you're not going to let them do this, are you?
I'm afraid it's out of my hands.
Out of your hands? Well, we'll see about that.
I hope they got the luggage on board.
It'll be waiting in our room. You'll see.
It better be. We're due to take off in 10 minutes.
Take off?
Sail. Disimport.
I think it's disembark. Alan, you have to admit, it's a real showpiece. Did you notice this carpeting? And the oil paintings? And brass everywhere.
Great, where's the bar? I could use a drink.
Number 24. This is it.
What in the...
Alan, look! It's like an old-fashioned drawing room with a tapestry and gold everything. Pigeon's blood vases.
I don't believe it.
Are those plaster cupids on the ceiling? Oh, it's marvelous! And the canopy bed.
Shaped like a swan.
It's got a goose feather mattress. Oh, Alan, isn't this fabulous?
It's probably the most ridiculous room in the entire world. You realize that?
Probably? It is!
And you actually like it.
Don't you? Look at this chest. It must be 100 years old. A bowl of fresh flowers on top. And even a box of candy, shaped like a heart.
At least the luggage is here. No kidding. You think we can take it for 2 weeks? I mean, with all this...
There's the whistle. Come on, let's go up on deck.
Why?
Why? That's what you do. Haven't you seen any movies? Hurry.
Those are the ones I mean, Burgess.
Not the ones going with us.
Yes, I tell you.
Nonsense. Obviously a silly blunder.
No, they have tickets.
Calm yourself, Mackenzie.
This needs to be settled at once.
Very well.
Here they come.
Hello. Hello.
How do you do?
Oh, very well, thank you. Now then, no doubt you young people aren't aware that this is a rather, well, how shall I say, private sort of cruise, you see. Very tight. Dear me, yes, unquestionably a slip-up on the part of the,
Look, mister, we're getting a little tired of this routine.
Try to understand. There hasn't been any slip-up. This is our ship, and we are sailing to England on it.
Her.
What did I tell you? They're determined.
This is bad news, very bad indeed.
Oh, really? For you or for us?
Don't argue with them, Alan.
See here, please, this may seem odd to you, but we're actually trying to be of help.
Yes, exactly so. You see, there are things you don't know about this ship.
Yes.
But what does that mean?
Well, for example, it isn't common knowledge that...
Burgess.
No, Mackenzie. We've got to tell them.
But...
this vessel is over 50 years old.
We knew that.
Oh, but there are other things you couldn't possibly know. Because you haven't had time to look.
Such as?
Well, she's falling apart everywhere. The deck chairs wouldn't support the weight of a baby.
Well, yes, that's true. And the staircase is about to collapse at any moment. And the food, food, dreadful, dreadful. It's positively poisonous. Ptomaine, you know. Yes.
But the worst of it is the danger at sea. Those boilers, not to be trusted. They've been ready to burst for years.
Oh, yes, for years. So you can see how impractical the whole idea is.
There's just one thing.
Yes?
If it's such an awful, dangerous ship, what are you doing on it?
What? Oh. Yeah, well,
we're old and eccentric.
Well, yes.
Well, we're young and eccentric. We like impractical things, the challenge and all. Besides, we think it's an absolutely charming boat.
Last warning. They'll be pulling away the gangplank at any moment. Look, you'll be quite bored.
We never get bored. Do we, Alan?
Nope, not at our age.
You're sick, then. Yes, you'll get sick. No stabilizers. She rides like a washing machine, I can tell you.
Sounds like fun.
I think I've heard about enough.
Wait. I have my checkbook.
What's that for?
I am prepared to pay you double the amount of your tickets.
This is ridiculous.
No, I want to hear it. Pay us to do what?
If you will abandon your plans, I'm sure you'll find another booking, something more suitable.
That's a very generous offer.
Yes, very much more suitable.
Alan, you're not considering it, are you?
Well, what do you say?
Not a chance.
Triple the amount, then.
Yes, triple.
No.
Very well. I am forced to extremes. Sir, madam, if you will leave the Lady Anne at once, I will give you the equivalent of, let me see, 50,000 American dollars.
50,000 American dollars. Yes, which I will match. Well, I haven't got it all on me, but
making it a total of 100,000.
Yes, 100,000. Well.
You're talking my language now, gentlemen.
Alan?
Let's say pounds sterling, shall we?
In pounds?
Or better yet, an even $250,000 U.S. currency will be fine.
No, that amount is completely unreasonable. I'm sorry. No.
In that case...
But...
Sorry.
Let's go, honey.
You must reconsider. You don't understand the implications.
Look, fella. Ever since we picked this tub, people have been doing their best to discourage us. I don't know why, and I don't care. But if you're worried about brash Americans crashing your cozy little tea party...
No, it isn't that at all.
Forget it. From now on, leave us alone.
I'm proud of you.
Thought I'd take the money, didn't you?
Well, for a minute there, I didn't know. Oh, look! We're moving!
Off to a great start. I could use that drink now.
Me too.
Too late.
We did our best.
We should have tried harder.
But the funds he was demanding... highway robbery.
Nevertheless, it was our duty.
The duty of everyone on board.
Who knows what the consequences will be? I fear we should have done whatever was necessary to keep them off this ship.
Alan?
Yes?
You're already dressed. Why are you up so early?
It's almost 11.
Don't tell me you're nervous. We're not going to let two cranky old men spoil our second honeymoon, are we?
A lot more than 2.
Mm-hmm.
Better get dressed. Fire drill's in 15 minutes.
What? Honestly, you could at least tell me what this is all about. You act as if we're going to an execution.
There. See for yourself.
Look at all of them.
And all wearing their life preservers.
Oh no. Alan, some of them are even on crutches.
And wheelchairs. Pretty hard to stand for inspection.
Is that what they're doing?
Apparently it's a safety requirement.
Well, there was the Titanic.
I picked up a few more names. The Mackenzies, of course, and Mr. Burgess.
How could I forget?
The one on the end is named Van Vlyman. Next to him is Mr. Bristow.
Cooey! Hello there. Care to join us?
Yes, do join us. Hello.
In a moment, Mrs. Mackenzie. You don't suppose that everyone else on this ship is...
Everyone. I checked this morning. The youngest person I saw was 70.
Oh, but that's silly. It must just be the first class section.
There aren't any other sections. The entire ship is first class.
You mean they're all?
Show some respect. This group alone represents several thousand years.
All for fire drill practice.
Remember, Eileen, getting there is half the fun. Chin up.
Your life jackets.
Oh, thank you.
Now then, as soon as you're all ready...
I think the straps go over your shoulders.
Like this?
That doesn't look right.
Psst. Do you need help, dear?
Good morning, Mrs. Mackenzie. As a matter of fact...
You should put your arms through the hole.
No. Let them learn for themselves, dear.
I was just trying to make it easier. See you later, then.
Yes.
Do the best you can. We look like a couple of clowns at a funeral.
Now then, in the event the balloon should go up, the alarm will sound. Proceed to the Imperial deck in a calm, orderly fashion and await further instructions. The groups will be divided in the following manner. Group A, Mr. and Mrs. Huntley Small, Mr. and Mrs. Mackenzie, and Mrs. Scott Aylesbury.
Here we are. The Imperial Lounge.
Looks like we're in time for the noon orgy.
Alan, I think it's elegant. Like a private club.
That's the problem. We're not members. This isn't a ship. It's a floating rest home.
Shh. You wish something from the bar?
Do you suppose you could fix us up with 2 double martinis? Very dry?
Yes, sir.
Alan, I'm sorry. I didn't know it would be like this. But it doesn't matter that much, does it? We didn't want to mix with other people anyway. We wanted to...
Stop saying we. If you'd listened to me, we'd be in London by now.
And you'd be in a business meeting.
Not necessarily.
Yes. And it would be the same the next day and the next and... Oh, Alan, that's what this is all about. Don't you see?
Your drinks.
Thank you. Look, I know you've been unhappy, but do you think I enjoy working 28 hours a day?
It comes down to the same thing, doesn't it? We never see each other. We never talk, or...
I told you, after I close this deal, I'm going to start taking it easy.
Which is what you said 2 years ago. You closed that deal. But it didn't make any difference. There were more deals. There'll always be more deals. Because that's all that matters to you now, isn't it? Bartender, another.
Yes, ma'am.
Try to control yourself.
I have been controlling myself for 6 years, and I'm tired of it. I am tired of begging for little bits of your time. You're not interested in me anyway. You're interested in success. Fight your way to the top and then fight to stay there.
Stop making a scene.
Why? Does it take your mind off mergers and board meetings?
No, it takes my mind off the fact that we're supposed to be on a trip together.
Come off it, Alan. You're going to England on business. I happen to be along. That's all. Why? Because I insisted. If I hadn't, you'd have gone alone. Isn't that true? Admit it.
I can't talk to you when you're like this.
You made me like this. Because the truth is, you don't care anymore. I was stupid to think that a few days together would make a difference. You're a flaming success now. Alan Ransom, the financier. And I'm the nagging wife who doesn't understand.
Eileen, please.
What's the matter? Are you afraid they'll catch on? Don't worry. They think we're a happy couple, made for each other.
Shut up.
Yes, sir. Well, when this tub finally gets there, you can relax. Because I'll be leaving.
That might be a good idea.
Oh, it is. You'll have all those nice deals to keep you warm with no silly woman around. It should be marvelous.
It will be. For now, I'll be on deck reading the Financial Times. Here's for the drinks.
I say, you two, excuse us.
Not you again.
Well, yes. Not really.
How do you do, dear?
Nice to see you, Mrs. Mackenzie.
If you don't mind, I'm trying to read the paper.
My wife, Millie, yes. I say my wife, I mean we would very much like you to join us for tea, if you'd be so kind.
Because I'm wearing my tweed jacket?
Hmm? No. Tweed jacket, I see. That's I see, we're very British. No, we simply want to chat.
Is it a date then?
We'd be delighted. In about an hour?
Yes, in the Imperial Lounge.
We'll see you there. And thank you.
Not at all. An hour, then. Jolly good. Looking forward.
Why did you do that?
Because you and I don't have anything more to say to each other. You know it's true. We're finished. But you said it yourself. We're stuck here. So we might as well call a truce for now and make the best of it.
Agreed.
Hello.
Over here.
Hello again.
My dear.
So glad you could make it.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Do sit down. Do sit down. Not at all. Nasty day. What? Now look. The reason for this meeting, apart from the pleasure of your company, is
Go ahead, Toby.
Yes, thank you. Millie, yes, my wife, Millie pointed out that we've all been, something less than hospitable to you, if not rude. And so I expect I ought to apologize.
And do you?
Oh, yes, most sincerely. But You see, there is something more important. Good news, in fact. Yes, we've been talking the whole thing over, and we've decided that you won't have to leave the ship after all.
We won't? Say, that is good news. We were afraid we were going to have to swim back, and it's had us sick with worry.
Really? No. I see. I see. Very good. No, I'm sorry about that, my boy, but we were quite concerned, all of us, as I dare say you gathered. You see, it simply hadn't occurred to us that an outsider would ever want to travel on the Lady. The last time she took on a new passenger was, well, according to Captain Prothero, was some 16 years ago, so you can understand. Yeah, but never mind that. It's all settled now.
What's all settled, Mr. Mackenzie?
Oh, no, we'll get to that in good time.
You simply must forgive us. We can't have been very good company so far.
Well, frankly.
Yeah, the point is, we spent a good many fine hours, Millie and I, my wife Millie, on this old, scow.
And when we heard they were going to retire her, well, it seemed right somehow that we should join her on her last return voyage.
Yeah, absolutely. And the same is true of the others. Yeah, well, the other people. Yeah, and that's what accounts for the number of senior parties aboard.
We didn't understand.
No.
And you still don't, really. More tea? It's quite bracing.
Yeah, there you go. Yes, one thing that hasn't changed. Yes, tea is still the best in the world.
What about the others, Mr. Mackenzie?
What, the others? Oh, yeah, yes, like us, as I said. Sentiment, you know.
Of course they know, Toby. Why else would they have chosen the Lady Anne?
Yes, that's true.
Our story isn't so different, I guess. My husband and I had never really been alone in 6 years.
Excuse me. I'm going to get us a drink. Scotch all around?
Oh, yeah, well, splendid. Thank you.
He's embarrassed, isn't he?
I seem to be doing that to him all the time now.
You were saying the two of you hadn't been alone?
Well, he's a busy man. You get wrapped up in things if you want to be the best, and I don't know. When I heard he was going on a business trip to England, I made him promise to take me.
But that doesn't explain the Lady Anne.
No.
No, I suppose it doesn't. Mostly it was the time. More days together. And, well, it just seemed kind of special.
Oh, my dear, the Lady Anne is special.
Very special.
More special, I should say, than either you or your husband could imagine. You see, this is the ship Toby and I sailed on when we were married, which would be 53 years ago.
52. Yeah, she was a splendid thing then. Yeah, the ship, I mean. No.
Toby, really?
I thought you told us it was an old rust bucket.
Not it. She, yes. Oh, I should have been struck down by lightning for such a fearful lie. Mrs. Ransom, mark this. The Lady Anne was the finest ship that ever crossed the sea. Queen of the fleet, she was.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Is, Mackenzie, is. No other ship can touch her.
Quite right. Sit down, Burgess. This is an old companion of mine, Ian Burgess, Mrs. Ransom.
Ah, yes. Congratulations.
I don't follow.
I hear there's been a decision made in your favor.
Not now.
Nonsense. Quite a relief, I must say.
What is?
Why, what else? My good lady, you are in luck.
How so?
Well, haven't you told them? It's about you and your husband. It seems you won't have to die after all.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
What did you say?
He said you won't have to die after all.
Of boredom, he means. Well, don't stand there like a ninny, Ian, tea all over you. Yeah, but sit down, sit down.
Yes, to be sure.
Sorry, I seem to have spilled my tea.
You see, Mrs. R., she was the only one of her kind. Specialized in honeymooners. That was her freight then, yes. Oh, yes. Young people in love. Ah, marvelous.
The drinks.
Ah, yes.
You see, that's what makes your presence so...
Sweet?
No. Well, it was that. It certainly was that. Young married couples, you see, that's all you'd ever see. Full of juice and the moon in their eyes. All those children trying to act grown up and worldly and used to it. And everyone as nervous as a mouse. Yes.
But that sort of thing, it lasted for only a few days. The Lady Anne gave them time to know each other. Oh, she was a wise ship. Cheers.
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 Everything was arranged for young people. Love has its own point of view, you know. It sees things larger than life. Nothing is too ornate or too fancy or too dramatic. If it is a good love, it demands the theatrical and then transfigures it, turns the grotesque into the lovely, as a child does. With it, we can see what we wish to see in people. Without it, we cannot see it all. We can search forever. How a shipping line ever found that vision, I cannot imagine. But they made the Lady Anne into an enchanted gondola and took that moment of happiness and pure sweet pain all lovers have and made the moment live for 2 unspeakably pleasant weeks.
Well, they get the drift, my dear. There's no need to go gooey.
But I feel gooey.
The same is true for all of us, actually. Bolshia Jones and his wife over there, the bald chap. Engineer in his day, and a good one. The Whiteways.
Next to them, Lord Bristow, with his cigar. Nice enough, but he's getting on.
And there's old Champion. Innes Champion, the writer, adventure stories, that sort of thing. Quite a droll fellow, though you wouldn't guess it now. Widower, you know. Aye, and his wife. There was a wild thing. She passed on in... Oh, can't be sure of the date.
What about you, Mr. Burgess?
The same. We'd planned this trip together, but...
Have you a picture?
In my breast pocket, over my heart.
She's very beautiful.
Ah. Oh, my dear, please. This is purely temporary. I shall be with her soon.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, there, dear. It's all right. None of it really matters if you're in love. You are in love, aren't you, Mr. Ransom?
Yes, of course.
Well, that's the only thing that counts, you know. Everything else perishes.
Now you've made her cry.
Oh, perfectly all right. I cry all the time, don't I, Toby?
All the time.
Well, I don't. Why don't you two go out and get some fresh air? Do you good. Fog or no fog.
That might be a good idea.
Yes. We'll see you later.
Of course you will.
I think they're all very, very nice.
What is going on? The sun.
What about it?
It's behind us. It was over there, and now it's... We're heading north.
So we're heading north.
We should be heading east.
Blame it on me. Everything else is my fault. Why not this?
There you go. Starting again. I don't know what I'm doing here. Look at them down there playing shuffleboard. Or sitting, wrapped up in their blankets. Really, Eileen, this whole idea was ridiculous. Eileen? Eileen, where are you? Eileen? Eileen!
I thought you did get rather gooey there, my dear, but you know, I rather liked it.
Gooey.
Oh!
Oh, Mr. Ransom.
I say, is something the matter?
I can't find my wife. We were standing over there at the rail. She was right behind me. You don't think anything could have happened to her, do you?
Oh, no, I doubt that. It's rather difficult to fall overboard.
Oh, yes, yes.
Eileen! 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 Eileen? Stuart, have you seen my wife?
No, sir, but I wouldn't worry.
I want this ship searched.
I'll take the liberty of alerting the crew. Have you tried the library?
Eileen?
Not here, sir.
But she's got to be somewhere.
Still looking, sir.
Haven't you found her yet?
Easy, sir. We'll let you know.
Eileen? Eileen, where are you?
I say, not turned up yet?
No, I searched everywhere.
She'll turn up. Have a nip with me. Come on, boy. Let's go inside. Yeah, maybe she's inside. Come on. Let's go into the Imperial Lounge, what? Two whiskeys. Make 'em strong.
I can't believe it. She's gone.
Well, it does seem that way. But of course it isn't so. You've just missed her.
You don't know how much.
A toast to the Lady Anne. Here, here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The Lady Anne. Hmm. Yes. It's a pity. What's going to happen?
A crime. An evil, black-hearted crime.
Easy, Burgess, easy.
Easy? Gad, they want to scrap the lady.
Outlived her usefulness.
Nonsense. A little slow, perhaps. Speed. That's all that counts now. Why? What's the rush, eh, Ransom?
I see your point.
Freddie, another gin. That's the state of the world today. It's a plot, doubtless of communist origin.
Who wound him up? Burgess, do sit down.
Haven't you eyes, man? The Lady Anne was condemned because she represents a better way of life. She's grace and manners and tradition. She's the Empire.
Somebody turn him off!
Silence, Adicott. The beasts are at the gate, and we stand about like statues, with our medals gone to rust and our swords broken. Soon they'll reach up their hairy hands and pull the Queen down from her throne. Scrap the lady? They'll scrap the world.
Poor chap. He'll feel better later at the party. Another drink, Mr. Ransom. Mr. Ransom?
Pour me one, too.
Honey, where have you been?
I decided to take a nap on our swan bed.
You mean you were here all the time? But I've been searching for you.
I'm here. I've always been here.
Oh, Eileen.
Are you drunk?
Maybe so, or maybe this is the first time in 6 years that I've been sober. What's that you're wearing?
The nightgown? Oh, Mrs. Mackenzie gave it to me. She wore it on her honeymoon.
It's beautiful. You're beautiful. This whole stupid world is beautiful.
What happened to you?
I don't know. But I'm going to try not to forget. I'm going to try very hard.
Oh, Alan?
Will you look at all this? Balloons, ribbons.
Over here!
Join us, please.
Mrs. Mackenzie!
Oh, come on, drink up. The champagne's getting warm. Well, you found her.
Oh, you're as bad as Alan.
I think we'd like you to meet Captain Prothero, Mr. and Mrs. Ransom.
Happy to meet you, sir.
My pleasure. You've had a pleasant voyage, I trust.
Oh, yes.
We're grateful to be a part of it.
Indeed. Your presence has been good for us as well. You packed your things?
Shh. They don't know yet.
Oh, well, I suppose it doesn't matter.
Know what?
Nothing important. If you'll excuse me, I have to make some preparations. Be back shortly.
You look positively radiant, my dear. The Lady Anne has worked her magic on you.
She... and you. All of you.
I'd forgotten some things. How to relax. I was so busy, I lost sight of what's important. It won't happen again.
I say, let's drink to that.
Have the engines stopped?
Oh, nothing to worry about. Cheers.
Mr. Burgess, why are we having a party now? We're only partway there.
You'll understand soon enough. Who needs a reason to party?
Mrs. Ransom, may I have this dance?
I have been waiting for someone to ask.
Mrs. Mackenzie? I'm not very good, but...
Oh, delighted, Mr. Ransom.
Oh, splendid. Oh, very nice.
Well, I see they haven't gotten them fixed.
What?
The engines.
The engines? Oh, there's nothing wrong with the engines.
Ready now? Your luggage has been collected.
Luggage?
Really? Should have told them.
Didn't want to spoil the party.
Excuse me, but what are you talking about? Why should our luggage be moved?
Because, my friends, we're putting you off the ship.
You're what?
Are we in trouble?
No, nothing like that.
They'll come to understand.
Maybe so, but we don't understand now, and we're not going anywhere until we do.
I'm afraid there isn't any choice. Follow me, please.
Alan?
Is this some kind of gag? You don't just put passengers off a ship in mid-ocean.
Steward!
Captain!
Draw your pistol.
Yes, sir.
You're kidding, aren't you?
If you'll do as the captain says. This way.
I tell you what, we'll all go.
Alan, what's going on?
You can't be serious.
There's nothing to worry about, my boy. Your exact position has been radioed. Even now, help is on the way.
Alan, you're not kidding.
Captain, this is outrageous.
Your luggage is in the boat. Flowers, a tin of biscuits.
Champagne? I thought of that.
The lifeboat sends out a signal so you'll be picked up straight away. Everything you need, really.
Except a reason.
It's time we were off.
Into the boat with you.
No, please,
But why? Is it something we've done?
Not a bit of it.
Then tell us. You can't do this without a reason.
Cause, my boy, you can't go with us. Not yet.
Yes, come along.
Not where we're going.
No.
Step carefully, please.
We liked you people. We thought you liked us.
They do, Alan. Don't you see? They do.
Lower away.
Don't forget the blankets.
Alan, look. Everyone's at the rail.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
I say, what are those papers, dear?
They're your letters, Toby. Don't you remember, dear? I've kept them for so long.
You're throwing them overboard?
They deserve a proper burial at sea. I won't be needing them now, will I?
No, dear. Not anymore.
Listen, the engines are starting again.
They're moving.
So are we.
We will. I promise you.
Here's a blanket.
I don't need it.
Aren't you cold, darling?
Not with your arms around me. I don't think I've ever felt so warm in my life. Do you think we'll see them again?
Yes. In fact, I'm sure of it.
Lady Anne never reached port. The ransoms were picked up by a cutter a few hours later, just as the captain promised. They searched the newspapers but found no mention of the Lady Anne. The ship, with all its crew and passengers, went down in the mid-Atlantic, or so it was said. But Alan and Eileen knew better. They knew it had sailed on to a better port, its final destination on a distant shore called the Twilight Zone.
Hi, this is Carl Amari, producer of the Twilight Zone radio dramas. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our official website at twilightzoneradio.com. where you'll get the latest news and information on these Twilight Zone radio dramas. Plus, at twilightzoneradio.com, you can digitally download 3 free episodes or any of our episodes for only $1.95 each. In this age of ever-changing technology, we've decided to make these episodes instantly available to you by making the Twilight Zone radio dramas a digital download-only series. This means that this series will no longer be offered on CD. The CD collections at our website are now being offered while supplies last at buy one, get one free. So be sure to get your favorites before they're sold out. Be sure to visit us often, and I'll see you in the zone.
Passage on the Lady Anne, starring Martin Jarvis and Rosalind Ayres, with Stacy Keach as your narrator, was adapted for radio by Dennis Etchison and written for The Twilight Zone by Charles Beaumont. Heard in the cast were David Pasquesi, Anne Somerville, Jim McCants, Joby Cerny, Eleanor Weingart, Martin Astrop, and Nick Ruddle. The producers of The Twilight Zone wish to thank CBS Enterprises and the Rod Serling Estate for making this series possible. This copyrighted radio series is produced and directed by Carl Lamari and Joby Cerny for Falcon Picture Group. Sound design and custom Foley effects for The Twilight Zone by Cerny American creatives Bob Benson, Craig Lee, Matt Sorrow, Tim Cerny, and Todd Byer. To learn more about the Twilight Zone radio dramas and to contact us, visit our official website at twilightzoneradio.com. This is Doug James speaking.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
Probe 7. Log entry 1411. Another waking period. Ship seems to be functioning perfectly as usual. Wish they could make cars this reliable back home. Oxygen supply, right on the button. Food supply, a little over. Something wrong with my appetite. Not enough exercise, I guess. I know. More workout time. Gotta stay in shape. Never know who I might meet in space. Coordinates on autopilot. Propulsion system humming like a top. Pressure flow, output, all right on the money. Oh, come on, guys. You don't need a pilot up here. Could have sent an unmanned probe. All I am is extra weight. Think how much farther this crate could go without me. Of course, you wouldn't have my brilliant observations. Boredom followed by prolonged disinterest with periods of great loneliness. Must be fascinating. Here's an observation. All these blinking lights in the cockpit. They remind me of stars, or candles, or cigarette lighters. That's it. Do you remember cigarettes? Did you know at concerts people had these little lighters, and sometimes they'd hold them up and it looked like a sea of stars out there in the dark? I want to write a book, not this diary. Doesn't have enough plot. Just me remembering. That's who I am, boys. He who remembers. Oh, well. Better send you the numbers. Here goes the download. Transmitting now. Till next time, this is Colonel A.L. Cook. Over and out. Hold on, I think we've got a malfunction here. Some kind of overload. Yep, there's a power drain. Initiating diagnostics. No time for that. Switching to manual override. Base, this is Probe 7. Probe 7, calling base. Come in. I've just lost a rocket tube. Can't handle this baby. Controls won't respond. Losing power fast. Have to set down on the nearest planet. Got one in view now. Not much choice. Entering atmosphere. Surface coming up fast. Can't slow down. No retro rockets.
Warning. System overload. Warning. System overload.
Ship's about to catch fire. Base, do you read? This is Probe 7. Probe 7. Mayday! 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 Mayday!
One Colonel Cook, a traveler in deep space several million miles from his point of departure and presently out of options. He set a course across an endless ocean in a one-man lifeboat, now scorched and broken on an alien shore. But even if he should survive, his greatest ordeal is yet to come, for he must face a far more dangerous challenge, an opponent more menacing than the cold, lifeless vacuum of space. He must face what awaits him on the other side of the bulkhead and do battle with the unknown. As soon as the dust settles, he will take stock of his plight with very little effort, a single 360-degree movement of head and eyes. For Colonel Cook has come to rest on a small, undistinguished planet not on any chart, one that is actually an outpost in the Twilight Zone.
And now, The Twilight Zone and our story, Probe 7, Over and Out, starring Lou Gossett Jr., with Stacy Keach as your narrator.
Log entry 1412. I'm alive. That's all I know for sure. The ship is wrecked pretty badly. It might be possible to realign the main drive, but not without help. So far, I'm holding up. One badly bruised head and a broken right arm for which I've made a sling. A few more painkillers in the first aid kit, but after that, I'm on my own. The planet has an atmosphere, so I don't need the pressure suit. That's another stroke of luck, if you can call it that. The terrain is desolate. Sand, rocks, some low-grade plant life. That means there's water. The question is, how much and where? The ship has cooled down now, what's left of it. Main instrument panel is intact, so I'll try to contact the base directly, if there's enough power. More later. Cook, signing off. This is Probe 7. Do you read? Probe 7. This is Probe 7, calling base. Probe 7, with a landing report and damage assessment. Over to you, base. This is Probe 7. Come on, base. I'm waiting.
Probe 7, this is base. You're coming through low, barely audible.
Blaine, is that you?
Yes, this is Lieutenant Blaine. We read that you're...
This is Cook, Probe 7. I'm glad to hear you.
Cook? Cook, we thought we'd lost you. Your transmission was interrupted.
Everything was interrupted. I'm lucky to be alive. Probe 7 made unscheduled landfall approximately 7 hours ago.
What? Come again. Can't hear. I thought you said...
I've crash-landed, Blaine, in another planetary system. Didn't have much choice. One of the thrusters broke off the ship. This planet is 92,900,000 miles from the nearest star.
Good Lord, Colonel. We're having trouble seeing you on the monitor.
Sorry, but I can't send or receive a visual. Most of my equipment was fried in the crash.
Okay. How's your oxygen?
And that's the least of my worries. There's an atmosphere here. I don't know its density or composition, but it's breathable.
Probe 7? Probe 7, your signal's drifting. Can you increase power?
Not much chance of that. Far as I can tell, this is the last of my juice, at least for now. I've got half a generator and 3 solar cells working. I was afraid it wasn't enough to get through it all.
Okay. Can you effect repairs?
Say again?
Repairs. Can you make repairs?
If you give me maybe 20 years, a good right arm, and a new head while you're at it, I might make a start. The bottom line is, I need help. Got that, base? Help. And right away.
Probe 7, you're breaking up. Probe 7, are you there? Probe 7, we're having difficulties. All right, just stay there. Stay in transmission. Probe 7, we've traced your signal. We know where you are.
Great. How soon can you send a ship?
Colonel, I'm sorry to say we have nothing here that can reach you.
What? You had several ships on the drawing board.
Repeat, we have nothing available.
Say again?
All construction is suspended pending the current crisis.
Ah, come on!
Colonel Cook, I've been told you'll have to make the repairs yourself.
Base, now hear this. I don't have fuel, no propellant at all. I left most of my rockets scattered across 50 miles of dirt and rock. All I have is a ship that looks like a jigsaw puzzle. As for the wiring, it's nothing but spaghetti. So when you say you've got nothing that can help here, you're telling me you're crossing off one spaceman permanently.
Probe 7, we're having difficulty. Your words are breaking up.
All right, Base. I'll give it to you in a few syllables. This ship isn't going anywhere. Not forward, up, down, or back home. Is that plain enough for you? Now I'm asking you again. Isn't there anything you can do to help me out here? Or are you just going to write me off?
Colonel Cook?
There's the low power warning. I'm losing transmission. Got to sign off for now. I'll make contact again in 3 hours. Roger that, will you please, Base?
We will stay on this frequency, Colonel, and wait to hear from you. Oh, just a minute. There's someone here who wants to speak to you, Colonel.
Colonel Cook, this is General Larrabee. We understand the spot you're in. We wish we could help.
Thank you, sir.
Well, there is a possibility that once you give us a full report on the ship, we can send you instructions for its repair and walk you through it step by step. That's still an option.
Is it? Well, here's an option. Why don't I just build me a new one, General? I'll make it out of tin cans and chewing gum. I'll burn some circuit boards with a magnifying glass. That's a possibility, too.
Colonel, I'm trying to be frank with you.
Sorry, sir. I'll transmit again in 3 hours. Over and out. Heaven help me. Wonder if that's a possibility. Log entry 1413. I'm standing on a hillside a few meters from the ship. You hear that? I think there's going to be a change in the weather. Back home we'd call it a sandstorm. Better head back soon. I see vines and some flowers down the other side of the hill. There's more life here than I thought. As to what stage of evolution is reached, that's pure conjecture. No sign of animal life, but the vegetation grows thicker in certain areas, like the valley. Can't trust my leg yet. Better stay close to the ship. I've picked some plants for analysis. We'll see if there's anything edible. Hey! Anybody? Hey! Take me to your leader. I've got beads and wampum. Is anybody here? That's just great. The last good wires in the whole ship. Here comes that sandstorm. I'm gonna get the hatch shut. Close, will you? That's it. A little bit more. There. That'll have to do. This is Probe 7, calling base. Probe 7, calling base. Over to you. If you read.
We read you. We read you very well, Colonel.
Ah, you've got the video going.
For now, General, I've wired all the solar cells in the series. At the moment, I'm running off the storage batteries, though. It's almost night here.
All right, tell us your situation, please.
My situation?
Yes. Any change, Colonel?
I've done what I can, but I'd have to call it unchanged. The power level's higher as long as I charge up during the day, but I don't know how long that will last. At least, I've got you on the screen. Got to see another face, both of you.
You should be used to solitude. You've been in space a long time.
Yeah, I should, but that was different somehow. I was a big something in the middle of nothing. This, though, I've landed and it feels like I'm supposed to be somewhere, and I'm not. My memory of home is fading fast.
Colonel, and the condition of the ship, still a total loss?
Probe 7 is no longer probing, General, unless it's the few feet of dirt I tore up when I crashed. There is life here, like I said, vegetable life, pretty elementary. I've explored the surrounding area in all directions, but I can't get down to the valley with this leg. The gravity is roughly the same as ours. From what I can tell, the atmosphere is similar as well. At least, there's no pollution. I haven't started coughing yet.
Describe what's left of the ship.
What's left of the ship, General, is a few feet of bent-up metal. I told you, it's unrepairable.
You're sure, Colonel? You're absolutely positive?
There isn't one other section that's still intact. She'll do for a museum or a junkyard. Take your pick. As for me, I don't have the luxury of making a choice.
Nor do we, Colonel. Nor do we.
Right. The crisis.
Listen to me, Cook. We've got a major problem here.
Oh, you do?
Since you left, we've had an international incident. A serious one. There's talk of war. The next 24 hours will be crucial.
As long as I can remember, there's always been a crisis, and there's always been talk of war. Well, hasn't there?
Yes, but this time I'm afraid...
You'll forgive me, General, but I've got a crisis too, and it's a very immediate one. I have the remainder of my rations and 2 broken bones in one arm. You have my location. I need to know that help of some sort is on the way, or would you call that unreasonable?
Now listen up, Colonel. The rest of the fleet's been taken out. There isn't another ship, unless we build one. And if we go to hydrogen war in the next few hours, there'll be nobody left to do the building. Do I make myself clear?
You're serious?
That's the realistic view, Colonel. It may go down hard, but I'm giving you the facts of life. 10 hours from now, maybe 6, maybe 4, we'll be fully committed. I'm talking about 500 million people, not just one man. That's about as clear as I can put it.
Very well then, General. I guess that's it.
We don't see any alternative.
Will there be any point in making further contact with base?
Yes, Probe 7. For 2 reasons I can think of. Both of some benefit to you. One, so you'll know that you're not alone up there. And 2, to confirm that your own world still exists. Though the latter is a moot question at this point. Over to you, Colonel.
I can't think of anything else to say at the moment.
Feel free to keep the signal open, if you like.
Can't do that, General. I need to charge the batteries when it's light again. Here's that storm. Don't know how strong it'll be or how long it'll last. But I'll try to get through it. Nothing else I can do.
Then, for whatever it's worth, know that we're still here. For now. Over to you, Probe 7.
Roger, base. And out. It's going to be a long night. Wait. Blaine? General? I wish you could hear this. There's something outside, I swear. Something or someone. Log entry 1414. Just in case anybody ever hears this, I didn't get much sleep last night. I was waiting for the wind to die down. As soon as it did, I opened the hatch sometime around dawn. You see, I thought I heard something pounding on the hull, over and over. It couldn't have been an accident. It had to be something intelligent trying to signal me, to let it in from the storm. That was what I thought. Funny the way the mind works. I've never been so glad to hear anything in my life. And at the same time, so afraid. But I opened it anyway. Well, everything was covered with a fine layer of sand, silica crystals, very much like the soil back home. And that was the trouble. Whatever had been outside, there was no sign of it now. If there were tracks, the sandstorm had wiped them out. The ground, everything, smooth as a beach where no man has gone before. I did find something, though. A broken branch. So, it was only the wind, after all, blowing it back and forth before it broke off. Had me going for a while. So much for my man Friday. Now I'm back to the old routine. Reconnaissance, hunting, and gathering. Just think, a few million years from now, something on 4 legs, or 2, or 8, may actually walk this barren planet again. A few million more years, and it will grow a bigger brain so the species can start doing the same things I'm doing. Foraging for food, trying to survive. Wonder if there'll be anything left of the ship by then. Probably not. Me? I'll be a fossil at the bottom of a tar pit somewhere, and no one will realize I was ever here. Well, onward he marched, for want of anything better to do. Blaine? General Larrabee? Are you still there?
Here, Colonel. Go ahead.
Well, you look like you haven't slept.
Not much. And you?
Not really. Up at dawn to do some hiking, north, east, south, and west. I had been hoping.
Yes?
Just a crazy dream I had.
No sign of anything?
It's a primitive planet. I'm very much alone here, after all. Oh, not completely. I've got a wind that sings sad songs and some scrawny plants that check me out every now and then as I walk by. There might be some fruit trees that are edible down in the valley, if they're not poisonous. But that's it. That's all of it.
I'm truly sorry.
There used to be an old saying, if life gives you lemons, make lemonade. The only thing wrong is I can't even find the lemons. But don't worry, I'll keep trying.
Not that this will provide any vast solace to you, but at 9 o'clock this morning, Colonel, we went to war.
And?
The whole eastern seaboard went up.
You mean all of it?
The cities, everything. It took 12 minutes. Exactly 12 minutes.
I suppose we retaliated?
Oh, indeed. With great alacrity and effectiveness. And we still are. With everything we've got.
It was our old enemy?
That's right, if it matters now. And the result of all this? Our world is doing a little wholesale dying at the moment. And there's nothing to do but watch it happen.
What about the base? Are you safe?
For the time being, our location's classified. Only you and a few others know where we are. The signal's encrypted.
That's good then.
Trouble is, we can't stay here much longer. There have been bombs as close as 400 miles from us, falling through the night. It's now a question, Colonel, of the manner of death. Very fast or very slow. It's that kind of consideration, not one we thought would ever be a reality.
General.
You know, it's really quite a pity that we didn't send others with you. What you think of as a prison might have proved to be a haven of sorts for the survival of the species.
Don't have any illusions about it, General. What you think of as a haven is only a very sizable dungeon. A good-sized dungeon with a breathable air. But that's what it is, and there's no way out. I don't much care for solitary confinement, and neither would you.
Unfortunately, both of us have very little choice in the matter.
General, this is urgent.
Give it to me.
What is it, General? What's happening there?
In a moment, Blaine.
But, General...
I said in a moment. Cook, I just received his official communication. We're going to have to move out of here. Now, I don't know whether we'll be able to transmit again or not. If we are able to, I'll do my best to make contact. You have my word.
Thank you. Try if you can. It means a lot to hear a real, live voice.
I wish we could do more. Silence. Or cries. That's the story from our world. Silence or cries. God bless you. And good luck. Over and out. Probe 7.
Yeah. Over and out. Not with a bang, but a whimper. Hell of an ending. To all my friends back home, take good care. Looks like I won't be seeing you again. Not in this life. Time to start a new project. Chapter 1. The Memoirs of Colonel A.L. Cook. And I've got a very good memory. You wouldn't believe the stories I could tell. Who knows? After I'm gone, maybe someone else will crash here and find it. A lifetime of memories. Every sight, every sound, all the way back to the beginning. The kids I knew, the girls I dated, my friends, mom and dad, the first job, all of it. Every detail recorded for posterity. Has anyone ever done that before? Maybe people who keep diaries their whole lives, except that no one ever got it all down. Didn't have the time, but I do. All the time in the world. Log entry 1415. This one's for the record. A final official entry. From here on, it'll be the life story of Colonel A.L. Cook. Me, myself, and I. If for no other reason than to keep from going batty. But for now, it's a beautiful day, here on Primordial World. Ship still standing, of course. You'd never know that's what it was. More like something from a scrap metal yard. The cost that went into building it, the man-hours, and for what? To come to rest here. A little way station that isn't even on the map. I'd call that a waste. Exhibit number 1 in the elephant's graveyard. Ever hear of that? They used to say there was a place where elephants go to die. Hundreds, thousands of them. A secret place off the beaten path. And there were bones and tusks. And once in a great while, someone would stumble upon it. Like the Sargasso Sea, where sailing ships caught in the kelp and were trapped forever. Well, maybe other travelers will end up here, gone to ground, never to move again. Eventually, there'll be a whole collection of them from all over. But remember, I was the first. I should scratch it in the metal. Cook was here. But I digress. This is still supposed to be my official report. The evaluation of the crash site coming up. The tail fin is all but covered by sand. Have to dig it out before the next storm. Then build some kind of windbreak or the whole ship might get buried. I could gather some branches, make one. There's more vegetation in the valley if I can get up and over. Now, that's odd. If there are no other trees in the immediate vicinity, where did this branch come from? The one that was banging against the hull last night. Unless something carried it here. The wind or Oh well, maybe I just didn't notice before. That must be it. Rocks to the left of me, rocks to the right of me. One very dry, broken off branch in the sand. And what great sand it is. None better in the known universe. On sale at closeout prices. Note the fine crunch under my boots as I walk the proud land. The rare texture, the superb body. Why, it's positively... What in the name of... It can't be. It looks exactly like... No, I must be hallucinating. But this... impression... I could swear it's a footprint, a boot print, to be precise. A lot like my boot, in fact. But it's not one of mine, about 4 inches shorter. But that's what it is. It is! Now hear this. Now hear this. I've got company. I've got company. Hey! Whoever you are, come on down. It's open house at my humble abode. It isn't much, but it's home. Drinks on me. Meet your genial host. Please. Please let me see you. Here's another footprint. And another. And another. Where do they lead? Up the hill? Has to be since the storm, so there was something here. I knew it. Hey. I don't care who you are or where you're from. Let's shake hands and be friends. Don't you need a friend? I do. Come on, friend. We can talk. I've got some stories, believe you me. Where you hiding? Behind that bush? Oh! Blood on my head. Something hit me. Why'd you do that?
Probe 7, come in.
Got to get inside. Closed before they come after me. Can't let them get in.
This is Base. With our last transmission, we got ours a few minutes ago. A 500% increase in radioactivity.
All right. All right. I'm ready for you. You want in? Maybe I'll let you, and maybe I won't. It's up to you. You can be friendly, or you can be dead. Hey, friend. You want to come in? Must be lonely out there. I hear you. What's the matter? Hungry? You're going to get a lot hungrier. Or don't you eat, friend? What do you say? Speak up. Can't talk, huh? No. You only know how to hit. Take more than that to put me down. What'd you use, a tree branch? Not very friendly, if you ask me. Well, I've got a nice piece of metal in my hand, and I know what to do with it. Won't catch me again. This has been going on for hours. I don't know about you, but I need sleep. I really need it. Understand? Sleep. And this king-size bump on my head doesn't help. Tell you what, we'll make a deal. I give you one more chance to get away. Go hide, I don't care. You may not understand the language, but maybe you get the message. I'll wait a while and catch some sleep. Then when I wake up, I'm going to have a nice freeze-dried dinner. If I don't hear you out there, we'll forget the whole thing. You stay up the hill, and I'll stay down here. Just remember to keep your distance. Otherwise, I might have to come up there and teach you a lesson. A man's got to have his boundaries. Oh, God, I hurt. I want to sleep just for a while. Hey, friend. Gotcha. Stay down. Pretty weak, aren't you? Let's see who you really are.
Ituko. Miena. Manda. Manda.
No. You're a woman? No, wait. Let's talk. Can't we talk about it? Do you understand anything I'm saying?
Min. Oh boy.
Look. My name is Cook. Colonel Cook. I'm from another planet. I crash landed here. Cracked up my ship. This is my ship, get it? Or it was. It can't fly anymore. Now I'm just a wingless spaceman with no place to go and all the time in the world to get there. All right, be that way. I'm not going to hit you. I'm putting my weapon down, see? Oh, what difference does it make? You're probably an illusion, and those prints you left on the ground, they're illusions too. I've been fighting a running battle between fear and loneliness took the prize. You can disappear any time now. Any time at all. Go on. Poof! In a puff of smoke. No, wait, please. Are you real? This knot on my head certainly is. All right. Do whatever you want. Just don't go. Not yet. If you can't understand, I'll draw you a picture. Where's the stick? Look. Right here in the sand. This is my solar system. The sun in the middle, and this is my world. See?
Omida?
You got it. Now then, I went off course. I didn't have the power to get back. You know, power? Vroom, vroom. No good. So, I tried to land here, where we are.
Omida Korum.
Go ahead, you draw.
Korum Mistum.
Oh, that's your solar system and your world. You came from there. Let me see now. It went out of orbit. Is that it? Your planet left its orbit and moved away from the sun. And the line, that's where you went and where your world went, right? I'm sorry. What about now? Where's your planet now? I understand. Gone. Disappeared. Probably frozen by now. But you got out. How many others? How many got out? You got away. Any others?
Min.
One finger. That's a hard count, my dear. A very hard count. And you've been here a while, haven't you? Look at your suit. Your galaxy might be light years away. It would have taken years to reach here. Where's your ship? Ship. Where's your ship? It crashed too, didn't it? So you've been here a long time. A very long time. Me, Cook. Colonel Cook. You?
Korava.
Korava?
Korava.
Well, what do you know? I'm pleased to make your acquaintance. How does it figure? I thought you'd be a 50-foot flesh-eating ant or something. And you turn out to be a woman. Which is neither here nor there. Because however you slice it, we're stuck here. A one-armed man and one very tired lady. Quite a pair. What have you been living on? What food? You understand food? Eat? Well, I can offer you lunch or maybe it's breakfast. I'm not sure which. And some companionship. And we can spend the rest of our lives drawing diagrams in the sand, which will be somewhat tedious. But the brighter of us will have to learn the other's language eventually. I hope it's you. Because I got some stories to tell, believe me. Come, Korova. Eat. Food. In the ship. Chow time. Come along. Inside. Eat. Food.
Food. Okawa? Okawa?
No. Not that way. Come here. Food. Please come back. I'm not going to hurt you. Please.
Okawa!
Oh, for heaven's sake. Korova, please. You scratched me. What did you do that for? That's all you know how to do, isn't it? Draw blood. Well, go ahead. Get away from me. It's not just language, is it? It's our animal nature, the way we instinctively respond to one another. In that case, there's not much hope. Go on. Go. If that's the way you want it, go. Base, this is Probe 7. The following is sent on faith, which is appropriate since this transmission is in the nature of a fairy story. I don't know under what heading you would classify it. Very likely space medicine or space opera. The long and the short of it is that I'm not alone here. There's a woman from another planet. Her name is Korova. I don't know much about her. I do know that she comes from another planet in another galaxy. A planet that left its orbit and moved out of space away from its sun. I suppose the inevitable happened. They just froze. She's not very old, so she must have been sent in a spaceship as a little girl. But now that ship is no more. They probably sent others too. God knows what happened to them. Died en route, lost their way, landed elsewhere, who knows. But somehow or other, she made it. Perhaps as a child on a preset course. She was here alone until I came. If by some chance you're still there, I can't send you any soil tests. I can't send you data about plant species or anything like that. But I can give you an observation about the psychological makeup of the animal kingdom. They're a frightened breed, a very frightened breed. It must be a universal trait wherever there are advanced life forms. Though it's questionable how advanced we really are, so I guess we aren't alone in that regard, which is really quite a pity, as you may understand all too well, if any of you survived. Base, this is Probe 7. Last call. Absolutely, positively, the last. Over and out. Log entry 1417. Well, the ship is history. I've left it for good. I finally made it up the hill and down the other side. And guess what? There's much more vegetation here. Fruit trees. Flowers as big as your head. And through it all, a stream of running water. I swear, it's like a garden. I brought what I need in a backpack. I'm going to set up shop on the banks of the river and try to live here, for better or worse. It will be the last great adventure. I only wish I could share it. Oh well, there's always posterity, if anyone should ever find this and play it back.
Cook.
Oh, you. Never mind. Talking to myself. But you wouldn't understand. Why don't you just keep your distance?
Cook? Ah. Cook.
Not going to hit me, are you? No? That's a surprise. Well, you're just in time to say bon voyage, friend. I'm going that way. There are even more fruit trees over there. No reason to get in each other's way.
Cook.
You want to come? You may, if you like. We'll eat and we'll live. I don't know how or for how long, but we can try.
Cook.
What? Dirt? Soil? What do you call it?
Earth.
Earth? What does that mean?
Earth.
Is that the name in your language? All right. We've just given this place a name. We'll call it that. We'll call it Earth.
Cook. Korava. Earth.
That's right. My name's Cook. My first name is... But there's plenty of time for that. No need to rush things. Okay, Korova. This is our home now. This is Earth. What's that?
Food.
So that's what you've been eating. Some kind of red fruit. Any good?
Food. Eat.
All right. Not bad. We'll take some with us. If you think it's all right. Come on. I wanted to tell you something, but now I've forgotten. I guess we'll have plenty to talk about, though. This place, a new life after all. And after a while, we'll have new memories to talk about. Things we can share. Come along, then. Let's go. This route's all right. Any other life forms around? I hope not, for the moment. But if there are, we'll make the best of it, won't we? Pleasant enough place, don't you think? My leg's better. We'll explore as much of it as we can. No need to set up any boundaries, I guess. There's plenty for everyone. For you and for me. And it's a beautiful day.
Do you know these people? Their names might be familiar were you to hear them. They lived a long time ago. Perhaps they're part fable, perhaps they're part fantasy, and perhaps the place they're walking through now is not really called Eden. That's for you to decide. We offer it only as a possibility and a presumption in the Twilight Zone.
Hi, this is Carl Amari, producer of the Twilight Zone radio dramas. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our official website at twilightzoneradio.com, where you'll get the latest news and information on these Twilight Zone radio dramas. Plus, at twilightzoneradio.com, you can digitally download 3 free episodes or any of our episodes for only $1.95 each. In this age of ever-changing technology, we've decided to make these episodes instantly available to you by making the Twilight Zone radio dramas a digital download-only series. This means that this series will no longer be offered on CD. The CD collections at our website are now being offered while supplies last at buy one, get one free. So be sure to get your favorites before they're sold out. Be sure to visit us often, and I'll see you in the zone.
Probe 7, Over and Out, starring Lou Gossett Jr., with Stacy Keach as your narrator, was adapted for radio by Dennis Etchison and written for The Twilight Zone by Rod Serling. Heard in the cast were Tony Maka Sr., Sam Derrence, and Oksana Fedanushin. The producers of The Twilight Zone wish to thank CBS Enterprises and the Rod Serling estate for making this series possible. This copyrighted radio series is produced and directed by Carl Amari and Joe B. Cerny for Falcon Picture Group and Westwood One. Sound design and custom Foley effects for The Twilight Zone by Cerny American creatives Bob Benson, Craig Lee, Matt Sorrow, Tim Cerny, and Todd Beyer. To learn more about The Twilight Zone radio dramas and to contact us, visit our official website at twilightzoneradio.com.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension, a dimension of sound, a dimension of sight, a dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the Twilight Zone.
But I do.
Even after so long?
What is time? The ebb and flow of a river as we drift along, bobbing and sinking, but floating to the surface again and again and again.
My love.
From this day forward, we shall never be apart. This, I promise you.
Kruger, I've got an idea.
Who is this?
Jordy, who do you think? Listen, this one's a winner.
You know what time it is.
Late. Sorry, boss, but I just watched a movie and...
Movie? What movie?
Remember that assignment? You wanted to send me to the coast?
To cover the awards, but you passed on it.
Right, the Career Achievement Awards at the Academy.
Jordan, surely this can wait.
That's just it. It can't. Come morning, I'll be on a plane, headed for L.A.
No, you won't. I'm sending the new boy.
Not so fast. You remember why I passed on it? Because Pamela Morris isn't attending.
As usual, so what?
Well, I ran one of her pictures tonight. Her greatest performance. And this I promise you. I've forgotten the magic. There's never been anyone like her, not even close. So here's what you do.
Have you been drinking?
Buddy, I'm stone cold sober. Get me a ticket for the red eye out of O'Hare. Then soon as it's morning, Pacific time, call our agent and set up an interview. I'll be there with bells on.
Interview about what?
Are you kidding? It's Pamela Morris. Where's she been all these years? Is she still as beautiful as they say? I'll get you an exclusive. And while I'm out there, I just might cover the awards, if you ask me real nice. 'Cause you're my favorite editor.
Do us both a favor. Go back to bed.
I haven't been to bed. I've been watching Pamela Morris all night long. And tomorrow, I'm going to meet her. No matter what. Thanks, Kruger. It'll be worth it. This I promise you. The world's most beautiful woman. Pamela Morris. In person.
Introducing Jordan Herrick, syndicated columnist, whose work appears in more than 100 newspapers. By nature a cynic, a disbeliever, and a jaded commentator on the movie business, caught up for the moment in a lovely vision. He's not sure whether that vision is merely a dream, but he'll soon find out. Her name is Pamela Morris, renowned star and femme fatale, not seen in public for many years, whose legendary beauty is remembered by millions. Mr. Herrick is correct about one thing. Tomorrow he will make her acquaintance in person. But what he does not know is that the face he gazes upon may actually be a reflection, beamed his way directly from the Twilight Zone.
And now, The Twilight Zone and our story, Queen of the Nile, starring Kate Jackson, with Stacy Keach as your narrator.
Hello? Hello? Is anybody...
Yes, sir.
I'm here to see Miss Morris.
Who?
Pamela Morris. Do I have the right address?
This is a private residence. No deliveries.
Oh, for the love of... I'm not a delivery boy.
Please turn your car around.
My name is Jordan Herrick.
Well, you still need an appointment.
I have an appointment. Check the list. H-E-R-R-I.
Oh, yeah. Mr. Herrick from Chicago.
Thank you.
I'll open the gate. Park in the circular driveway by the main house.
Yes?
Hello there. I'm Jordan Herrick. I have an interview with Miss Morris.
You're early.
Am I? Well, if she's not ready, I can wait.
This way.
Well. This is impressive.
Take your coat, sir.
That portrait on the wall.
Your coat?
Here. Who painted it, may I ask?
I'll tell Miss Morris you're here.
Yes, you do that. What's the signature on the canvas? No. Can't be.
Where's my towel?
A young man is here to see you.
Where?
In the living room.
Really? Tell him I'll be right in.
There's no hurry.
Oh, there you are. Sorry, I lost track of the time.
Please, don't rush on my account.
You've come all this way. It's the least I can do.
But it's such a glorious day.
I'll be right with you. Just let me dry off.
Of course.
Charlotte, see if the gentleman would like a drink. Perhaps a light lunch?
Yes, miss.
Oh, don't go to any trouble.
I'll meet you in the living room as soon as I make myself presentable.
Oh, you're more than that. Great deal more.
If you follow me, sir.
Mr. Herrick?
Miss Morris, I didn't mean to interrupt your swim.
Nonsense. I've kept you waiting.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter, and I apologize. But I do love the pool. It's my one indulgence. Am I forgiven?
Absolutely.
Please sit down.
Beautiful.
Sorry?
This room. The furniture, the artifacts. Lovely.
You like my little collection?
Very unusual. You must have gathered these things from around the world.
Oh, you know how it is. Various locations over the years for this film or that.
You specialize in the exotic.
Do I? Yes, I suppose so.
Even the front door, that metal insect or whatever it is.
Ah, you saw that. The door knocker. Cast in bronze after an Egyptian beetle or so, I'm told. Do you think it's too much?
No. It's quite remarkable. I've never seen another like it.
Nor have I.
Must be very old.
Yes, it must be. I confess I've forgotten exactly where it's from. Now then, I believe you have some questions for me?
Well, if you don't mind.
Not if you're the one who asked them.
I'll do the best I can.
I'm sure you always do.
To begin at the beginning.
As two people always must.
Huh. You were born in...
I must say, Mr. Herrick, you are very direct.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I meant geographically.
No, you didn't. You meant the year. That's what the public always wants to know.
You're not offended?
Should I be? I have my producers, my directors. You have your editors. They are all very demanding. Besides, a woman in my position must have no secrets.
I'm relieved to hear you say that. I was afraid.
Afraid? You have nothing to fear here.
No?
Why, Mr. Herrick, I'm only a woman, and a rather small one at that. Surely you've known many women.
Never one like you.
Then I'll try to make this as painless as possible. Suppose you tell me how old you think I am.
That's hardly fair.
Oh, come now. Especially after you saw me in my bathing attire. Unfortunately, it conceals very little.
I wouldn't say unfortunately.
Mr. Herrick, you make me blush.
I shouldn't have wandered out onto the terrace like that.
I did say no secrets.
And I overstepped the bounds with that question.
No, not at all. Please, be honest.
Really,
Here, take a good look. I'm sorry about the shirtwaist and sandals, but I didn't want to keep you waiting a moment longer. Time is so precious.
You're not wearing any makeup, are you?
Can you tell? There simply wasn't time.
You're very beautiful.
That wasn't the question. We were talking about my age. I'd appreciate your candor.
In that case, you look no older than you do in the painting.
Oh, everyone asks about that. I was only a child when I posed for it.
Is that so?
Come and see for yourself, close up.
All right.
Well?
Oh, surely I'm misreading the signature.
Why do you say that?
This can't be a Berthold.
Berthold? I was so frightened of him. The world was bright and new to me, and he was so wildly creative.
Was he?
I'd never met anyone like him. It was his genius that enabled him to project the flowering of a fragile blossom, as he put it.
He must have been a genius to capture you so perfectly.
What a lovely thing to say.
Tea, miss.
Ah. Shall we, Mr. Herrick?
Certainly.
Tea or coffee?
Coffee, please.
Would you like something in it? Cognac? Whiskey?
No, thank you. I'll take it black.
I thought newspapermen were heavy drinkers.
That's a myth. At least during working hours.
And are you working now?
I am. Though it doesn't feel like work.
I want you to feel entirely at ease. It's to my advantage, you know. Lest you think badly of me.
Very little chance of that.
Is it time for tea, Charlotte?
Yes, Mrs. Draper.
Hello. My name's...
This is Mr. Herrick.
How do you do?
Mrs. Draper. He's the newspaperman, Mother.
I know.
You're Pamela's mother? Surely not.
Sit down, Mother. Have your tea.
It's remarkable, the resemblance between you two.
Some might think so.
With my mother, it is tea at this precise hour every afternoon.
Mrs. Draper, you must feel proud to have such a famous daughter.
Must I?
Mother never did approve of my career.
Believe me, Mr. Herrick, I had very little choice in the matter.
She thinks I'm too headstrong.
Dedicated is the word. You still are, Pamela.
Tell me, was your daughter always as beautiful as she is now?
Always.
Now there's loyalty for you.
As a matter of fact, Mr. Herrick, it is the truth.
Then perhaps I should interview you as well.
Why, whatever for?
Well, I might learn a few important details from the mother.
Such as the real age of the daughter.
Honestly, I wasn't thinking of that.
Isn't age relative? Besides, didn't I promise to reveal absolutely everything to you, Mr. Herrick?
You did.
All in good time.
Then I'll just have to be patient.
Not for much longer. This I promise you.
Pamela, I must have a word with you.
Later, in your room.
I am not going to stand by and watch it happen again.
You will if I say you will.
I can't bear it.
Mother, would you mind seeing if Charlotte has things under control in the kitchen?
Not this time.
Sorry if I'm intruding.
She was just leaving.
Pamela.
Weren't you?
A pleasure to have met you, young man.
My pleasure, Mrs. Draper. Perhaps we'll talk another time.
I hope so. Until then, goodbye. Take care of yourself. Take very good care.
I'll try.
Forgive her.
What for?
She's getting old.
Still, she might remember a few details I can use for my story.
No, her mind wanders. Her memories become distorted. Shall we finish our coffee on the terrace?
If you prefer.
There should be a breeze outside.
I'll bring the cups.
Mr. Herrick.
Mrs. Draper, I thought you'd gone.
I must speak with you.
Why, of course.
Leave.
What?
You must leave at once. Quickly, before she hears. You are in danger.
I am?
Very grave danger. All is not as it appears. She is not as she appears.
Mr. Herrick, are you coming?
Be right there. What's this about? If there's something I should know, you...
She is running out of time. Save yourself, young man, before it's too late. I implore you. Save yourself.
Isn't it lovely out here?
Quite stunning. And a perfect location. I'm trying to remember. Who owned this house before you?
Oh, some ancient actor from the silent days, I think.
And when did you purchase it?
There you go, Mr. Herrick, still trying to trick me. I assure you it was built decades ago, long before I was born.
No doubt.
I love to sit here by the hour, watching the birds and the clouds, listening to the sound of the water. At night I watch the stars.
Do you?
But that isn't what interests you, my nocturnal habits.
It'll fit nicely into the story I'm doing.
The question of age is still the big thing, isn't it?
I wouldn't say that.
I can hear it in your voice. Well, here goes. I am 38, Jordan. May I call you Jordan?
Of course.
Is that so terribly old?
Not at all.
Even in my case?
Especially not in your case. The years have never been kinder to anyone.
Oh, you're a dream.
It's the truth.
I should have realized you'd take all this down. Looks like you've already written several pages.
Some advance notes. Dates mostly.
Do they concern me?
Indirectly. According to one article...
I know you read something. A column by one of those stupid, jealous women.
If you don't mind me asking...
Fire away.
If you're 38, how could you have starred in a movie made... Let me see... 29 years ago?
I can't believe it. Jordan Herrick taken in by the printed word. Tell me, do you always believe everything you read?
And set me straight. The movie was Trails West, is that correct?
Darling, it couldn't have been me. I would have had to be 9 years old, don't you see? It's an old mistake. I've run across it before. Once something like that gets into the books, it's hard to erase.
Well, according to our files, your co-star was John Bradley.
Was it?
You were in love with him.
I never even met him. Your files are in error.
That's possible.
Almost 30 years ago. Why, I don't believe I'd even seen a movie yet. I wasn't allowed. My parents were very strict.
Oh?
We were poor. We lived in Iowa. My father's business was failing. It was a few years later that I set out for Hollywood, a star-struck girl in her teens, following the same trail blazed by so many hopefuls. I was extremely lucky.
You must have been. You made Queen of the Nile with Charles Danforth. When you were 14?
Juliet was 12.
It's such an important production.
Is that so much harder to believe than my true age today? You see, no one knew I was only 14. If they had, I would have been taken off the picture. I matured early.
Indeed you did. I've seen the film.
Have you?
Shot on location, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. No studio backlots then. A fabulous experience. I learned so much.
And that was when you began collecting?
What?
The interior of your house. I take it the trip inspired the decor.
I call it early Egyptian. I suppose it's silly of me, but how could I resist? It was my first big break, and I was far from home with more money than I'd ever seen before. I'm just glad it wasn't one of those horror pictures, or I'd probably have the place filled with caskets.
No, I much prefer it this way.
But really, you know, the fact is that I still feel 14 in some respects. No, let me be more precise. Sitting here with you, I feel new. I know it sounds foolish, but I want to live, Jordan. I want to savor all there is in this life. Is that so wrong?
No.
Come here and look at the view. You can see practically the entire city from here. The canyons, the pools.
They look so blue from here.
Don't they? Such a perfect color. Reminds me of something.
Me too. Your eyes.
You are too good to be true. But do you see what I mean? The world is such a magnificent place, full of so many wonders, too many to know in one lifetime.
Maybe that's what makes life so precious. Because it's so brief.
Does it have to be? If we live fully, tasting everything that's placed before us like a magnificent offering, two people alive to the moment and each other.
Yes.
I'm being foolish again saying such things.
Oh, on the contrary.
We've only just met.
Hardly seems possible.
That's because you've seen my films, each a time capsule, preserved, unchanging.
There's something more, something that's very much alive right now.
It's just that I so seldom get the chance to speak my mind, to air my dreams.
That's true for everyone.
Is it?
It is for me.
If I could know there's another who feels the same way, who wants to know life to the fullest.
I think it's time for you to start believing.
I don't dare.
What are you worried about?
You were so understanding, so simpatico.
Don't stand too close.
No, you don't like it.
Move to the edge of the hillside. You might fall.
Oh, Jordan, I already have. No.
What's wrong?
What must you think of me?
Don't turn away. Look at me. It's as much my fault as yours. I wanted to kiss you from the first moment I saw you.
You're very sweet, very real. But you really must go.
Why?
Because I say so. But we can see each other again if you like.
What about tonight? Dinner?
Very well, shall we say?
8 o'clock? Eric? Party of two?
Not for an hour, at the very least.
I have a reservation.
I'm sure you do. if you'd care to wait on the bar.
Hello, Armand.
Miss Morris.
It's been a while, hasn't it?
I should say so. We've missed you.
How about that reservation?
The old table, I presume?
That would be divine.
Claude?
Yes, Armand.
And prepare that corner booth.
But it is occupied by another couple.
Then move them. Tout de suite.
Yes, sir.
And that's our show. Ladies and gentlemen, we now invite you to dance.
Darling, I don't know when I've had such a wonderful time, but it is getting late.
Is it?
I should call home to see how Mother's doing.
Oh, don't tell me there's a curfew.
It isn't that, but I do worry.
Excuse me,
Yes?
Miss Morris? Can I have your autograph?
Of course, dear.
Thank you, Miss Morris.
Will that do?
Will it?
You should charge for those things. That's the 10th one tonight.
Darling, something the matter?
No. Nothing.
We're to have no secrets between us, remember?
I was just thinking about your mother. Something she said.
When?
Earlier today, she took me aside. I could have sworn she was trying to warn me. Only I'm not sure of what.
Jordan, my mother is disturbed. You must believe me.
I do. But her words stick in my mind.
She feels responsible.
For what?
My father's death. They were returning from a party. She was driving, and the car went off the road. Father was killed.
I'm sorry.
Since then, she's been suspicious, furtive, imagining all sorts of terrible things. I've tried to help her, but the doctors say it's hopeless. She's deeply depressed. She should be in an institution, but I can't bear the thought of...
I shouldn't have brought it up.
Let's change the subject.
Yes, let's.
Now then, I told you about me. What about you?
What do you want to know?
Where did you grow up?
Chicago. I still live there.
I've played Chicago, the Wells Theater.
The Wells.
Is it still always so cold in Chicago?
Only in the wintertime.
Oh, I almost forgot. I was going to call Mother. Where's my purse?
Oh, wait, you'll need coins for the phone.
Oh, don't worry about me.
Here, I'll get change. Waiter?
Jordan, please.
It's no trouble.
Listen to me. You're a kind and considerate man, but I can take care of myself. Just don't disappear while I'm gone. Promise?
You have my word on it. What's this in my pocket? A letter? Someone must have put it in my jacket. But who? Dear Mr. Herrick, you are a fine young man. I know you want to see my daughter.
But you must not. Under no circumstances are you to come to this house again. You will not believe what I am about to tell you, but I swear on all I hold sacred that she is not as she appears. The ravishing woman you know as Pamela Morris is far older than you think. She has told you her age, but she is much more than 38. I know. For you see, I am not her mother. I am her daughter.
Morning.
Jordan?
Oh, I was just about to phone you.
Were you?
I overslept after last night.
I was afraid you wouldn't call.
I wasn't sure you wanted me to.
Oh, now you're teasing me. I had the most wonderful evening.
So did I.
It was heavenly, Jordan. Every minute of it. Will I see you today?
Wild horses wouldn't keep me away.
You don't have to fly back?
Not just yet. I'll tell Kruger I'm onto something here. Something that could be very big.
Kruger?
My editor. Don't worry, he'll go for it.
Oh, I hope so. If I were to lose you now, you don't know how long it's been since I've felt this way.
Stay right where you are. I'll be right over.
I won't move from this spot I'll tell Charlotte to make lunch for us on the veranda.
I have a better idea. I'll take you to Musso and Frank's for brunch. Perhaps your mother could join us.
What for?
I thought it might be nice for her. To get her out of the house for a change.
Mother's not feeling well this morning.
Oh, nothing serious, I hope.
Only the usual complaints. Her mind seems worse, though. I wouldn't want to subject you to that.
As you wish.
You seem awfully interested in my mother.
I do? Yeah. Just a reporter's curiosity.
Enough about her. How soon will you be here?
As soon as I shower and dress.
Till then, darling.
Till then.
Front desk.
This is Mr. Herrick. I'd like to place a collect call to Chicago.
I'll connect you with the hotel operator.
Kruger.
Hey, old buddy.
Jordy, glad you called. Where are you?
Still in Hollywood. Listen.
Good. I got another job for you, if you're through playing around with that little movie queen.
Almost. Do something for me, will you? Get out the file on one of our pictures.
Which one?
Queen of the Nile.
Right. Which one?
I just told you. Queen of the...
Well, you're a little young, I guess, but they made two of them. First one silent, I think, around 1920, maybe earlier.
I didn't know that. Get them both.
Take me a minute.
I'll hang on.
Here it is. You there?
Yeah.
I got it.
What's the name of the girl who starred in the original?
Let me see. Constance Taylor.
Never heard of her.
Anyway, she starred in most of it.
What do you mean?
It says there was some kind of accident during filming. A cave-in at a tomb in Egypt. Real tragic. They never found her.
Got a photo of this Constance Taylor?
There's a clipping from the obit.
Compare it.
With what?
A picture of Pamela Morris in the remake.
If you say so.
Well?
They look alike, but they would. They played the same part with the same makeup, same type of costume.
The old Wells Theater. When did they tear it down?
The Wells? Here in Chicago? Oh, it must have been sometime in the 30s. Why?
I want to be sure first. In the meantime, I need you to do a little more research. Find out about the men who were involved with Pamela Morris. Send me every press release, every clipping you have on her. Then fax them to me at the hotel. Can you do that?
This better be worth it.
Ooh, it will be.
Sounds like you're on to something.
Kruger, you wouldn't believe it if I told you. But it's something, all right. Something fantastic.
Well?
It's all true, Mr. Herrick. Every bit of it. But don't show it to her. Leave here at once.
This picture. Is it Pamela?
Yes. Yes. Please, Mr. Herrick. You don't know how it is.
January 12th, 1933. Gladys Gregory and Kester Roberts at the Wells Theater. On roadshow tour, fresh from their Broadway success in Honeymoon Deferred.
She had many different names.
But she herself hasn't changed in what? 50, 60 years?
At least 80. The sum total of my life. You can't imagine what it was like to see her always so fresh and beautiful, while my mirror image grew seared and yellowed with age. How I longed to see a wrinkle, just one, in that baby skin face. But she stayed young, and it was I who grew bent and gnarled, withered by the weight of the years. Is it any wonder that I hate her so?
Hard to imagine hating her.
Take one last look, Mr. Herrick, and then go.
How old is she, really?
She is ageless. Perhaps eternal.
That's true. What is her secret?
What woman would not sell her soul to know?
Surely you have some idea.
It has to do with the motif of this room.
The artifacts?
The scarabs. The scarabide beetle, to be exact. The Egyptian symbol for everlasting life from the banks of the Nile.
Mrs. Draper, if you hate her so...
Why do I stay? What else could I do? After Pamela and my husband.
Go on. Tell me the rest.
Charlotte?
I cannot. You must go.
What about those other men? John Bradley, Charles Danforth, Wesley Harrington.
Don't ask about them.
Charlotte, was that Mr. Herrick's car in the driveway? I thought I heard... Oh, Jordan. I knew it was you. I could hardly wait.
Hello, Pamela.
What's she doing here?
Pamela.
How nice of you to drop in, Mr. Herrick. Has my mother been entertaining you?
Yes, she has.
Tea, Miss Morris.
Thank you, Charlotte. What wild tales have you been spinning, Mother?
I'm beginning to think they're not wild tales at all.
Oh?
For one thing, the Wells Theater where you played was torn down years ago. Many, many years. And the artist, Berthold, who painted that picture of you, do you know when he died?
You may leave us, Mother. Charlotte will serve your tea in your room.
Pamela, please.
I want to speak to Mr. Herrick alone.
Yes, I'm sure you do.
That will be all, Charlotte. I'll pour for Mr. Herrick.
Yes, Miss Morris.
Your coffee, black, as I recall?
Yes, Pamela.
Drink up.
Pamela,
Now then, you were saying?
Please understand,
Oh, I do.
I'm a reporter. It's my job to gather facts.
And last night, that was part of your research?
Last night was special. Believe me.
My, look at all these newspaper clippings.
Let me explain.
You've compiled quite a dossier on me. What is it you want? Money?
You think I'm a blackmailer?
Well, if that's not it, what do you want?
The truth.
It comes down to this.
I told you it isn't about money.
I understand.
Then why are you opening the wall safe?
You want the truth, Mr. Herrick, and you shall have it. Come here.
What have you done?
Just a little white pill in your coffee.
You drugged me.
Don't worry. It's only a sedative.
Well, why?
I'm about to show you the secret. Don't you want to see what's in the box? Very well. I'll bring it to you.
What is that?
A rare Egyptian scarab, Mr. Herrick. The secret of eternity.
Where would you
get it? From the pharaohs, who understood its power.
Pharaohs?
I told you, Mr. Herrick. I was once Queen of the Nile.
That was only a movie.
Was it? Oh, yes, but I'm talking about the real thing.
You were?
Not were. Am.
Oh.
Sit down. It's easier that way. Let me open your shirt. You'll feel a slight sting as it penetrates your flesh. Then when it's fed, when it's filled itself with your life force.
Please.
There. Now I simply remove it and place it on my skin so that it can reverse the process. Let me see. This leg should do nicely. Do you think I have nice legs, Mr. Harry? Oh, but you can't speak. You can't do anything, can you? A pity the art of mummification no longer exists, because in a few more seconds, there will simply be nothing left to hold your body together anymore.
Pamela, what have you done?
I've told you, Viola. Never come in until I call you if you want to live another day.
No, I can't bear it.
Get rid of the remains. Quickly.
This must stop.
Clothing, shoes, everything. Now.
Yes?
I have an appointment to see Miss Morris.
This way, sir.
I'm here, Charlotte.
Yes, miss.
Oh, do you mind? I seem to have knocked over a cup in the living room. Would you see that it's swept up? All of it?
Right away, miss.
If I've come at a bad time...
Nonsense. You must be Mr. Jackson.
Yes, I called the other day.
And I told you to come out when you could. Did you think I'd forget?
Well, I didn't want to intrude. I must say, you look spectacular.
Do I?
Radiant, if you don't mind me saying.
It's the weather. I so love the sun and the pool. I'm constantly refreshed. It reminds me of the location for one of my films. We shot it on the banks of the Nile River, the ancient source of life, or so I'm told.
Queen of the Nile. I've seen it.
Have you? But you're so young. Come. We'll have coffee on the veranda.
Everybody knows Pamela Morris, the beautiful and eternally young movie star. Or does she have another name even more famous, an Egyptian one from centuries past? A word to the wise. It's best not to be too curious, lest you end up like Jordan Herrick, a pile of dust and old clothing discarded in the endless eternity of the Twilight Zone.
Hi, this is Carl Amari, producer of the Twilight Zone radio dramas. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about our official website at twilightzoneradio.com, where you'll get the latest news and information on these Twilight Zone radio dramas. Plus, at twilightzoneradio.com, you can digitally download 3 free episodes or any of our episodes for only $1.95 each. In this age of ever-changing technology, we've decided to make these episodes instantly available to you by making the Twilight Zone radio dramas a digital download-only series. This means that this series will no longer be offered on CD. The CD collections at our website are now being offered while supplies last at buy one, get one free. So be sure to get your favorites before they're sold out. Be sure to visit us often, and I'll see you in the zone.
Queen of the Nile, starring Kate Jackson with Stacy Keach as your narrator, was adapted for radio by Dennis Etchison and based on a script by Jerry Saul. Heard in the cast were Mike Starr, Doug James, Jeff Lupetin, Linda Ryder, David Darlow, Sarah Marks, Christian Stolte, Bob Dunsworth, Carl Amari, Vince Amari, and Roger Wolski. To learn more about the Twilight Zone radio dramas and to obtain audio cassettes and CDs of these programs, visit our website at twilightzoneradio.com. The producers of The Twilight Zone wish to thank CBS Enterprises, Carol Serling, Dennis Etchison, Dick Brescia Associates, Claire Simon Casting, Terry Jennings, XM Satellite Radio, Sirius Satellite Radio, our sponsors, and our radio affiliates for helping make this series possible. This copyrighted radio series is produced and directed by Carl Amari and Jason Mallow for Falcon Picture Group. Doug James speaking.
Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe.